Okay. Sige, start to with. I-off na kung background music or ipadayon ra?
Padayon lang. Padayon lang na. Okay, wala.
Sige. Sige. Here we go.
Hi, Kentin and Ayban.
Okay, ako siyang i-add. I'm gonna add Kuya Jude to the stream. Here we go. All right. Say hi.
Hello, may hapon. Happy anniversary, Stanan.
Happy anniversary.
So, Jude, kumusta ka diha? Kamusta man ka nabot diha sa Singapore?
Last 10, January 10.
January 10.
Yep. So nakakoron quarantine for 14 days.
So you're still on quarantine right now?
Oh. Quarantine for 14 days. So what? Okay. Ay, kumusta? Hello.
So far, since we already have a documentary last month, no, regarding one Lepo Center. So far, do you have any sa may mga kausaban sa live, especially karon sa pandemic?
Well, usab yung tanan, dili na natural tanan, but I guess life goes on. We need to adapt. So kana like what we are doing now sa scene nato sa Cebu. Silver anniversary na nato. So even with the pandemic, it doesn't stop us from like this, from getting together and doing gigs. Shout out sa tanan tao sa SRA sa Cebu scene for making things happen even with the pandemics around. So shout out.
Yay.
Thank you for gracing us. So,
Sorry?
Okay. So, do you think, do you have any idea kung sa imong recommend for us right now, like, since we are just at home, so unsa kaya itong ma-recommend nimo nga makuha sa mga tao para medyo ma-ease ang stress, especially nga dili kita kagawas, kita ka-connect with friends, puro rata online. How about
yeah. So one thing is stay positive always. Find alternatives. So life goes on. Like for any other challenges we have, I know mahuman ra gyapon eh. So we'll just hold on, push through, stay positive. So even with the pandemic, it doesn't mean it's the end of the world. We can still we have alternative. Like now, we're streaming. So
The vlogger.
yes. So I believe dagha layo ta, but we're still connected in a way. So nindot ra gyapon.
Yes.
So sakto nindot katong gusto ni Jude no nga kanang we're far away but we're still connected.
Correct.
So I think mo nindot na dili na to kalimutan ba nga bisan di ta magkita, bisan di kita mag-chat.
Yes.
Or bisan wala tayo regular communication pero we are still connected with each other.
So nakakita mo sa post ni Dale, which share po ni Grace sa French Fun and Hardcore.
Yes.
So makalingaw kayo. So mga daot pa kayo ta dito. So wala karon we most of us gain weight na gid.
Wala ko sa imo. Jude, si Gray ug si Maricar maura gyapon silang duha.
Maulag gyapon.
Maura gyud sila.
All good.
Kita ani murag sige na lang throwback na lang.
Sige na lang. Bawi lang yata.
So, nindot kayo sa nung nagipang-share ni Dale ang mga photo sa mga banda, sa katong mga slim pa kaayo ta nga mura pa tag mapalid sa hangin no. So it's just reminisce nang nindot sa reminisce ba na after all these years buhay still. Ay uban nga nagkapamilya, medyo wala na kayo magkita-kita, pero still we are also encouraging them na nahanap diri sa kilid-kilid, no? And especially karon like sa panahon nga permira ta isolate, so please for those people who wanted to reach out, please just reach out, no? So a simple hi or hello, it can, di ba, makahatag na siya taas nga kuan, it can give a long way to people na where you have been remembered. Kami ulit namin ito magkamadama kayo sa Facebook.
Okay na eh. I'm sorry kayo, nakatawa ko kayo. Aligre kayong comment ni Wigner. Nakagibay si Jude sa Facebook.
Karat. Wait, wako kibaw Facebook ba rin siya? Gitagaan ang link ni Gray. So,
Sa Facebook, Jude, the first one, hardcore, inatetet.
okay, wako ka.
Nani shoutout ni mo, Kuya Jude. Nani shoutout ni mo.
Okay, ayan. Kumusta?
Alright.
Question na to ni Jude.
Okay, Jude, by the way, what's the weirdest thing that imong or mga habits na imong na kuan karon pandemic?
Nabuhat or na-acquire or na-kuan? Develop.
Murag obvious. every lihok, food good, kaon good. So obvious.
Grabe. Unsa may mga paborito nimong lutuon, Kuya Jude?
So, karon so anything. So kung katong wala pa mi nag-quarantine, so mangumpra like everything fried. By the way,
Everything
di ko
fried.
kibaw mo luto. So fried lang. So just to share, I nakapalit ko air fryer. Grabe kanindot.
Trending lagi ka ng air fryer, no? Guys, trending lagi ka ng air fryer, unsa?
Air fryer
Jude, yung ano na kuha na natin, promote air fryer.
I guess makabawi sa konsensya sa imong kaon kay it's oil free daw. So it's limited percent sa oil. So but one thing nganong oil fryer is imo lang ibutang bilin nimo then balikon nimo, okay na, wala na kay buhaton basically.
Kuya mo, air fryer.
Munay net sa akong kuan, Jude, nga palitono ng air fryer para iwas gamay sa cholesterol ba.
Mo good.
Grabe yun, ang air fryer. Like, kanang kusog ko kayo na siya ba? Karon like, left and right, kadungog dyan kay air fryer, yun ba?
Ang air fryer actually are kuan siya tito and tita goals.
Mo
Air fryer.
Ang mga batanon. Ang mga batanon, pigisgot og PS5, pero wala yung PS5, air fryer ta.
air fryer.
Anyway, so by the way, for the band side, nabatay mga progress ron when it comes to kanang writing songs, any inspiration nga nigawas during the pandemic?
Sorry.
Kuya Jude.
If you discovered a new song or new artist, or if there's an album that inspired you nga para naka-help mo kanang while the pandemic is ongoing, ingana ba? What kept you sane
So
during these times? What's ang
one
music?
thing is Spotify. So I think we're all connected. So Spotify lang. So just hook on Spotify, and then it's one of alternative to keep you sane. So yeah.
And
Then,
any particular song or album nga balik-balik?
Go with the punches. I forgot one. Unsa to akong ganahan kay I forgot. Better Days. It's a murag UK band. Like it's a pop band, but it's a common ilangan. But I ganahan ko silang style. Better Days.
Better Days, sige. Ako take note.
Amo na tanong
Ako na pinahon.
recommendation ba?
Better Days, UK, no po.
New song ba ni
New song ni Gray, Billie Eilish.
Pwede patukar pirmi sa kuan I8.
noted ni by. So next, Jude, sige ba sad kag tanaw og mga gigs diha sa Singapore when you were there?
Katong wala pa pandemic, as much as possible, kung naay mo visit, yes, mo tanaw yun.
Pero right now wala ba sila? Wala sila yung mga
murag wala, like all borders right now nag-tighten gyud silang belt, so like grabe ang restrictions, so most likely wala pa gyud mga gigs.
So
hopefully ang gig nato diha sa Cebu mo kuan mapadayon, because nabagi live gig tingaling madakpan to silang deal dito ron sa
wala dili siya live gig.
Wala yung live gig. Kuhan to siya, like, nagtukar one song per band. Every Saturday, 5 bands na maximum, no crowd. And then, nagkuhan lang, documentary sa tukar and people nga, banda nga mag-hangout, social distancing. And we will post it later after that.
Good.
Get render pa daw.
Before ko nilarga, Saturday, nakabisita ako. So, ang nakita na ko dito, silang Nico, Hard Faces, Pipe Bomb, Landmines, nakita nilang Ing-Ing, Sam, the rest of the gang niya. Okay, mo dito ilang i-record. So, hopefully, makakita. Dire gyapon Gray or asa man Gray?
Dire, amo i-stream, recommend sa recommend Jude para makakita po ang atong mga kauban dire sa kanang mga activities ba nga mabanda ni participate sa pagtukar dito.
Mayo good.
Nasa sila yung kanang mga sila on the music side, kita sa conversation side, sa catching up ba what's happening in their life. Yun ingon si Igner unsa kay naa sa bin
Billie Eilish.
Ingon sa si ba uniform na nila wig.
Jude, dahil ka ng question dire si Nico, shout out to from Kuan. Ingon siya, unsa ko na yung Facebook ni Jude.
wala gyapon.
Ginagawa sa Lucas Facebook.
Mo ba?
Facebook na, Jude.
Mo ba? Sige, di ko kibaw. So, niya na lang.
But we're very thankful, Jude, nga you grace us with this time of viewers na makipagchika-chikahan sa mukha. And it's a good timing, sad nga, naa ka diya sa quarantine. So I think, sad, Joe, boring ba ang quarantine?
Si Bay, nag-shout out, oy, Bay, with the punches, Bay, with the punches.
Shout out kay Vice, Ambassador.
So I think since ang scene is very strict with regard to kanang sa mga gigs, so I think kita sa Pilipinas, I think maot na jud atong buhaton for the sake of safety. No? Mawala naman ako mga kuyog, nawala sa si Tawi. So, Jude, any like
Kisa may guest na to unya, Gray.
Gray. So,
yes, wala kanang impromptu ra jud niya to, guys. We want to celebrate lang yun niya. Grateful lang ka naapata buhi pata ning COVID ba. So, nag-request me and hangyo me if pwede sila maka-share og a little bit of kanang insights or kanang insights kung unsa na po dilang scene dito. So luckily natay mga maayo kay nga amigo from Singapore. We have Jai from Reconstrux Booking and Overthrown na banda. And then next ni Jai kay we have Reese Faruqi sa King Lychee, Dagger o admin sa uniteasia.org. So if you have questions nila, suwat daan para ma-answer nila. And then we have Boyet from Tame the Tikbalang, manggusta sa scene sa Manila, how they are coping, yung si plan nila moving forward. And then lastly, si Pupu sa DI sa Queen City na siya i-announce later at the end, sa end part sa show. And then we are trying to reach out sa ni Martin from No Turning Back. Kay I think sa tanang touring band si katulog ito sila ni Ari si Cebu. Di ba? So hopefully makakuha sa tag mga insight nila on sa ilahang pandemic po dito ilang scenario. And then we will call some of our koansan mga friends nga naa sa gawas like sila Punk Boy.
We will
Edwin.
call them randomly later. Kasi mo pick up.
Yeah, sila mo pick up.
Kasi
Alright.
no? Because we know man na
Si Edwin, si Braki, wala.
Ato to be ko ni
try na tog sa Mokon.
i-trap na nato.
Sige. Nindot.
Okay, so before you go, Jude, any other words of parting words for us? Since medyo madugay pa ba kagbalik diri sa Philippines?
Next album, Jude.
Wala ba
Sorry,
tayo?
okay.
Wala ba tayo plano for mga next album or any other?
Hopefully. So parting words is thank you kayo. Thank you guys for keeping the struggle, of continuing the struggle. So keeping the scene. Thank you sa tanan taga Cebu. So keep it up. Shout out sa tanan. We never knew na kaabot of 25 years.
Yes.
It's not a group, it's a family, it's a group of friends. Walay presidente, walay leader, all of us, it's a collective effort yun. So shout out sa tanan. Sa mga naadere, it's our scene, it's a Cebu scene. Thank you for keeping the struggle. Thank you ninyo, Card, Gray, and the rest.
Thank you, Jude.
Shout out. Thank you kayo.
Thank you, Jude.
Bye, thanks.
And amping
Thanks. Okay. Bye-bye. Thanks.
For 1 hour.
For 1 hour.
Mosuway ko, manghuwam ko Facebook sa kong wife, then motanaw ko sa mga other na mga
Alright.
Right.
interviews. Thank you guys. Thank you kayo.
Thank you, Jude. Happy anniversary, dara. Okay, ako sa atin.
Anniversary. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Bye!
Bye.
Shout out day kang Cairo. Happy anniversary sa diha.
Uy, Punks. Happy anniversary, Punks.
Wait, let me try. I'll try something. Wait. Okay, cool. We can hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes, great. We can hear you
Okay,
great.
cool.
that's better.
I'm not
was
going to
cool.
use
Okay,
the
okay.
then.
It's okay. Good job, man.
Okay,
Woo!
good.
Hi, Jai.
Welcome. And
Welcome.
thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me. How is everybody doing?
We're doing good. How about you? How's life?
I'm good.
Okay.
We're checking the questions. We have some questions for you, and then Tawi is going to ask them.
Okay.
I'm going to ask a question, right?
Yeah.
Or is it Maricar? Okay, so it's me.
And the
Hi, Jai.
Hello.
Happy New Year.
Go ahead, Tawi.
Yeah, happy 2021.
I
Hopefully
just
this
got
is
home from work.
Oh, just got home from work.
Yeah.
So yeah, right. So let's start with the most basic of questions, bro. How are you and your family?
We are doing good. Everyone is doing fine. Yep. Not too bad. Yeah.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
So one of the questions here, how's the scene there before and during the pandemic?
Before it was awesome. Everyone is really getting back together, the young and the old. And there's plenty of shows coming up. And after that, it went this way due to the situation. Yeah. Actually, there's a lot of bands that are going to do release party for their new albums and such, but it didn't happen because of the COVID situation.
Yeah, which it really sucks for everyone. Like
Yeah.
the music scene all around the world. It's like everyone's suffering from it. Like we were hoping that COVID is gonna be like it's gonna end this year, so that we can go back to going to shows and
Yeah,
push through with the album releases and stuff.
yeah.
So in relation to, since we're talking about COVID-19,
Mm.
how's everyone coping up there, like with the people in your scene?
I think everybody is getting used to the tough time now, and everybody's coping well because we are all in this together, you see. So
Yeah.
we have support for one another. We motivate one another. We keep in touch. We speak to everyone. Like now we are keeping in touch. Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's bad. But I'm just happy that we are still breathing and
Yes.
seeing one another on social media. Yeah.
Yes. And we're thankful to, social media on Facebook,
Yeah, yeah.
Zuckerberg, for giving us this platform, like
True.
for keeping everyone connected, like through the hard times, stuff. So since um we're still in the pandemic, are there
Mhm.
any online gigs happening in your area?
Initially, there are a few bands doing. I noticed bands doing live streams and all.
Oh.
But after that, it went quiet again because we thought that everybody is expecting to play live shows again, maybe this year. So, but it's not gonna happen anytime soon. But I do have special plans coming up for this year. So I just spoke to the guys from the local scene and some video guys and a friend of mine who's running a studio. So instead of doing live stream shows, we are going to do studio sessions
Ah,
for as many local bands as possible. So like every month we are going to release 2 or 3 bands for the studio session. So at least that's something that we can look up and look forward to, and it's not going to be quiet anymore with this, I guess.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
And those are really great plans. Hopefully we can do something like that here, Gray, for
yeah.
our
You
city.
should. Yeah.
Yes,
Uh,
yes.
Also, these questions are all related to the pandemic. So since you've already talked about your plans, do you have any message to, everyone who's watching the stream right now? Do you have any message on, how to continue with life while we're still in the pandemic, and how we can keep the music scene alive?
Um, Keep tight to your friends and families. Most importantly, wear your mask. I don't know if you guys wear masks out there, but some people don't believe it. But at least for me, we try to do as much, although it's not comfortable. And then just be positive and take things at one time. We no longer can plan things ahead so far, but take things step by step, little by little. Yeah, and don't give up. This is the best time to get together in the studio to write new songs, new music. If you're in a band,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Are you doing some new songs, Jai, with your
yeah.
band?
Definitely. I'm in 2 bands now, so both bands are working on new songs. Yep.
Na,
So we will expect more albums after this pandemic.
Yeah, hopefully.
Nice.
need to buy the albums from bands.
Yeah. Get on Polo. Paulo should be delivering to Philippines. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good that you say that we have to do the safety first, even if you believe that COVID is real or not.
Yeah.
Safety first is always,
Yeah, hopefully, because I'm gonna get my vaccine, the COVID vaccine next week. So
wow.
Oh, nice. Nice.
yeah, so everyone here is going to get their vaccine. So I hope everywhere else in the world is going to get their vaccine soon too, and it should work.
Good for you guys.
Yeah.
Good for you guys there. Us here, we're still waiting for,
Jai,
from your government.
Jai is a nurse, so thank you.
Yeah.
for
Yeah,
my-
I'm in the front line, so every day I see
Oh.
people. Yeah.
Thank you for your
Hard
for your service and everything, for all the hard work that you're doing.
My pleasure.
By
Yeah.
the way, I'm curious. Any weird thing that any
Acquired.
habit or a weird habit that you acquired during
Develop.
Pandemic,
the pandemic?
Any weird habits acquired during the pandemic? For me or for everyone else?
For you and with you and your friends, you guys talk every day.
The first stop
Like
in the house.
eating chocolates.
I think in Singapore, at least, I see a lot of friends go out cycling and start running because that's the only way they can go without mask on. So they
So
start
hard.
taking up sports too, like especially cycling and running, just to get the mask away. But it's good because people are keeping themselves healthy. Suddenly, we see a lot of people keeping themselves healthy by doing sports, outdoor sports. Yeah. But
Jai, here's why people are starting to do biking, but still they are wearing masks.
Yeah.
no, here we don't wear masks. I mean, we are allowed not to wear masks while we are cycling or running.
But yeah, it's hard. It's hard. But I also run, but sometimes it's so exhausting to wear the mask while running.
Yeah.
I have a question, Jai.
Yeah.
So before COVID, were there any plans that was canceled, like bands touring?
Yeah, I booked a Venom Prison from the UK with Larissa and her band. They were supposed to go around Asia and Southeast Asia, and we were supposed to play festival like the one in Indonesia, Hamasonic. But
Yeah.
I don't think it's gonna happen anytime. And then as for me, I lost a lot of money for booking their flight. Yeah, no refund from airline.
It's so hard to refund.
Yeah, no refund.
No.
Yeah.
So what's the plan? In case let's say pandemic will be over this year. What's the band line up on your list for possible touring bands in Southeast Asia?
It's hard to decide. I mean, it's hard to plan now because I can't plan ahead again like we used to do. Like normally in the past, I have to plan a year ahead or before. You see, but now it's so hard because we don't know what's gonna happen anytime. Yep.
Yeah.
How's
So
the
we have
situation in the Philippines? I mean, how's things in Cebu or everyone there? Are there shows going on or anything?
No.
none.
For the anniversary, they're just doing a live video for, videos for bands
Bands playing.
playing. But then later we will actually also put it in the live stream.
Cool.
And yeah. So
Yeah, but no crowd,
No crowd, just the band.
bands.
Just the
Yeah,
bands.
that's what people do nowadays. Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah,
It's
just
a bit
to
weird though. Yeah.
it's very
But
weird.
the best we could do.
yeah, that's the best we could do, and the safest too.
Yeah.
There's a question, Jai, from Wigner. Go Tawi.
Yeah. So how is the Singapore government handling the COVID situation, and how would you rate their performance?
Wow.
It's like a Miss Universe question.
Unfortunately, I don't look like Mr. or Miss Universe. Okay. Initially, when the pandemic strike us, nobody is expecting to have such a serious situation. You see, because we thought that the virus is not as bad as SARS or MERS, and it was, in fact, we thought it was the weakest, but things got out of hand. And we have like the most number of people infected with COVID for a few period of time, like thousands or hundreds, and I guess people around the region were like thinking that we are not, the government are not taking care of us well. But I think the reason why we are reporting the high cases every day is because the government were in fact checking on almost everyone, like who was staying in the dorm, and like no one is missed out. So they try to check on everyone with the swabs, and then slowly, little by little, the numbers got down because we managed to contain the situation. You see, and like last month we had the least number, and then now it's slightly going up a little, but not too bad as compared to the time we had maybe 6 or 8 months ago. And since we are getting the vaccines, and I hope that everyone is going to be able to travel, or at least COVID free in this country, and maybe the borders are open to our neighboring country, Malaysia and Thailand and Philippines, because I have friends who are from Philippines, from Vietnam, from Malaysia working here, and they haven't seen their family for probably almost a year plus, and it's bad for them. You see? But I guess the government here is trying their best to get everyone vaccinated here. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah,
I
it's good
think so
that
far they're doing well. They're okay. I mean, I don't want to compare with the neighboring countries, but I guess we are quite lucky to have the situation handled well. Yeah.
you're really lucky. I wish that the situation is like we have this situation here in the Philippines. We can't say anything about it right now, but we're just wishing that our government is more proactive in containing the situation and making sure that everyone is being kept safe and everyone is being taken care of,
Yeah.
like in terms of getting vaccines and everything, standard health protocols and stuff like that. But
Mm.
like really, Jai, we're so happy that you, your family, your friends, and everyone in the scene are all safe there. And we wish that you guys will continue to do like all the stuff that we're doing every day.
Yeah,
Like,
definitely continue, but maybe in a different manner or slower. But it's not dead. Everyone is not dead. As in, we are still keeping up the flames. Everybody is still playing music, writing songs, and at least we are able to meet up outside to have drinks or lunch or dinner. Previously we were being so-called locked down, and everybody was going crazy.
yeah.
Now it's
Yeah,
not.
Now it's
now it's normal. Now it's normal, but not
a normal
exactly
phase,
normal.
right?
But yeah, at
Jai,
least we are able to meet. Yeah.
you mentioned that now is the time for bands to invest more on making music, go to
Yeah.
the studio, because less crowdy. Have you written some songs that relates to this situation, or does it have an effect on your music right now? Like, I mean, I think when you're getting old, the feeling, the hate of feelings, like getting out, you cannot really have this. I mean, less inspired, I guess, compared when you're younger to make.
No, I guess we are more hungry to write more new songs now.
But
Like, it's weird that the older we grow, the more songs we want to write and the more shows we want to play. I don't know. At least that's to my band Overthrown and Bind. You see, yeah,
It depends on your motivation, and that's good that you are, even with the pandemic, you are greatly motivated.
yeah. I guess the idea of writing songs are more because we want to let out the feeling that we went through during the hard times. So probably that's one of the motivation as well. Yeah.
release the
So
stress.
yeah,
This dagger of stress. Yeah.
so okay, so just living one day at a time.
Yeah, true.
Yes. So
all right, I have no question. Do you have any questions, everyone from Facebook? Um,
Uh,
while waiting for a question, this is by the way Jai, from Singapore. He also managed Reconstruct booking, and he plays for Overthrown. And what was the other band? Your new band?
bind.
Mine, yes.
Bind. Bind.
Oh, mine.
Yeah,
Why?
our drummer is actually from Poland, and
Oh.
then and then he was working here as an art director, but because of the situation, he has to fly back. But we are still writing music through the internet. Like we write some riff and we send him to the group chat on the WhatsApp on the phone, and then he will record the drum tracks in Poland and then send it back to Singapore, and we will record our parts. So it's not ending anywhere. It's still going on. You see?
So
Yeah.
that's good because the creativity is still,
We are just making use of the modern technologies that we have right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you
Like
have
it's
songs out already for Bind or not yet?
Sorry, come again?
Do you have songs out already?
Yeah, we just released our debut EP. We released on Dangerous Goods Records, and it is on all the online streaming, and it's also on the 7-inch. Yeah, I will show you. I will pass you the link, and maybe you can share with the scene there.
Yay!
nice.
It's straight up 80s hardcore punk. You're gonna love it. Yeah.
we're like kids. So you're giving us candies.
Yeah. Yes. Let's see if we have questions in our page. By the way, Jai, we're recording this and we will be reposting it for a month. So thank you so much.
Yep.
Yeah, so so far we don't have any questions.
Gary Nang, Jai.
Yeah.
Hey Gary, homeboy.
Hi, Gary.
To support
Yeah,
the
so
Yes.
since there are no questions, how about do you have any message for us here?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I hope that everyone would stay together, as in not physically, but maybe through social media, and then motivate one another. Like call your friend, see how they are doing, and then motivate them. And don't stop playing music, especially for bands. There's
Yeah.
always social media and YouTube or whatever. Just record whatever you're playing, live or studio sessions, and then put it up on YouTube. And
Yeah.
everyone else from the world can see what you're doing. So don't stop.
There's one more question from
Okay.
Tawi.
Yeah, there's one more from Wigner. So he mentioned doing it for the kids.
Yep.
So he's asking if you're still as pumped up with the punk at your age, or has burnout caught up with you?
Not now. Still
Still
the fire is
pumped.
still burning. Yeah.
Still burning.
Still
Like
rocking.
I mentioned that I'm putting up live TV. I mean, we are doing the TV sessions for the younger bands and all the kids. Like, I don't have to do it. I mean, I can let others do it. I can just spend time with my 2 babies and decorating my house or things like that. But I just felt that if no one is doing it, like we as the older kids, maybe to direct or show the way, lead the way to the younger generation, so everyone can keep everyone motivated.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if you're older or younger. Everyone plays a part. So still as pump up like when I was 16.
Right.
That's
Keep it up, guys. We will do
Yeah,
it.
but Gary commented that Jai doesn't get burnout. He just doesn't jump as high.
True.
Crazy. Okay. All right. I guess that's it. Jai, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
It's our anniversary, so at least we've done something different. So
Thank you
thank
for doing
you.
this.
Keep inspiring kids.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Jai. Take it
Okay,
easy,
bye-bye.
man. Take it easy.
Bye. Take care.
All right.
All right.
Alright, so we'll have,
Game.
yeah,
Grabe, no, si Jai.
yeah.
Pagpadalas na, handa na po ba? Turing bus. Kamay lang itong bayad.
Wala mo to natarong introduce si Jai si Jai kay sa Overthrown. Kita na may motor. Kita na may motor. Kita na may motor dira.
Ay, nasa luyo. Sorry kay guys.
Okay,
Buong sa ito siya. Ano natin mga bin eh. Oo, katalimot
Look
eh.
at it. Asya, weird na din nila. Gabi na man.
Di, uniform kami na to.
Like,
Ay, ni Dota, di mo ganun naging English eh. Kapoy kayo. Kamo na sa doms na sa doms.
Guys, lingaw. Guys, lingaw kay kuninyo kay while nag-interview mo niya, nag-catch up ko sa mga request, nag-catch up ko sa playlist. Okay. Woo.
okay, so next we'll have any
So we'll have a team, and then we will call one friend nga nasa gawas nga from the scene. Onya, our next guest will be Reese from uniteasia.org. So prepare your questions.
Okay, so for this one, ang atong kung kinsay unang makatubag no, who was our guest a while ago, and kung diin siya gikan.
I think our next guest is ready, and he said that he needs to get a beanie.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
you want to introduce our next guest, guys?
Maricar and Dre. Maricar and Dre.
Hello.
How about you do
Wait,
the introduction?
Yeah, sure. Gray, just turn off the music lang for the background so that we can hear the convo. Okay. So yeah, our next guest kind of doesn't need any introduction. You know him as Riz. He's from Dagger, King Lychee, and more prominently, uniteasia.org. Let's all welcome Riz.
Woo!
All right.
What's up?
Hey, Riz.
Hello.
So, can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear. Loud and clear.
Nice,
Man.
nice. What's up? I got my beanie on. Look at this. I got a black one.
Yes.
Beanie crew, what's up?
Yes. Hell yeah. First of all, Riz, apologies that we were having dinner and then you're in the guest chat and we were like, oh no, Riz is here.
Yeah, you tell me 7 o'clock. I'm showing up at 7 o'clock, but I forgot about Filipino my friends.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna tell the people what you said in the private chat. Riz is like, I'm sorry. I'm usually on time. I forgot to run on Filipino time. Then he said I should have logged on 9 p.m. Like, oh,
Yep.
that hurts.
But here I am, punctual as always.
I'm so embarrassed for us Filipinos right now.
Yeah. Oh man. Thank you,
Yeah.
Riz.
So, Riz, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Yeah.
We know that you're busy with
You're busy,
stuff
man.
there, life and everything. So how's it going with you, bro?
First of all, thank you so much for thinking of me, man. SRA is crazy because I remember we were part, like my old band King Lychee was part of SRA, one of the anniversaries. I think it was a 15-year anniversary, maybe.
Yeah.
So I can't believe that was 10 years ago, man. Holy crap! What that tells me is I'm old as hell.
I think everyone in this
Hurts, Reese.
room.
I'm the only one who's like, I don't know, 27. I'm 27.
You're 27?
Yeah.
Oh my god!
You're like my, oh, you guys are my elders, you know. Like I'm the young. I represent the younger generation.
Wow. Yeah, but I mean, like I remember. Yeah, I mean, I remember that that show. I think it was Charles, right? Charles at Queen City Crew. He was the one that like hooked that up for us, and like he got us out. And I just remember like getting that email from Charles, or shit, was Facebook around then? I don't even know what he contacted me on.
I don't think
it was probably
Facebook
ICQ. It was MSN maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
ICQ or MSN, one of those things. I have no idea. But I remember him hitting us up, and he was like, "Hey man, can you guys come out and do our 15-year anniversary?" I was like, "Hell yeah, dude! I love Cebu. Cebu would be a fucking great place to go hang out." So yeah, I mean, this goes way back. It's crazy that now you're hitting me up on the 25-year anniversary thing. That's crazy, man. Like in 10 more years, you can hit up my daughter.
Whoa. No, I'm so happy that like you mentioned your history with SRA, and then we have a comment. I highlighted it. Can you see it? It's from Gary. He says, "Riz, the hardest working man in the Asian hardcore punk scene." And where is the lie? Where is the lie? Where is the lie? And he also said this, Riz. He also said this. So I don't know if he's sweet or being real right now.
All I can say, he is much older than me.
Oh, snap. Okay. So, Riz,
But yeah, I mean,
go ahead.
it's a lot of respect I get from Cebu, man. Has always been like a home away from home, dude. I mean, we played there. I think when did we play? We played again in 2015, I think. I don't know when we played again.
Dio in the comments, he said you guessed it twice. King Lychee.
Yes, right. Gray. We played. Do you remember? I think it was the last time we played. Was at was at some venue that was like around the corner from a skate park. It was awesome. It was such a cool venue. It was like a grill, like a burger grill place or something like that.
That was in
Boss Grill.
Plaza.
Boss
No,
Grill.
MOBA. I thought it was in Plaza or something.
We're old. We cannot remember.
Yeah, dude, I don't know. I hit up Holmes. I was like, yo, tell me where we played last time. He's like, dude, I can't remember the name of the place either. But I mean, every time we play in Cebu, like I remember the first time we played, and I just remember being completely blown away with the band. I mean, I've always heard the band, you know, like through MP3 or MySpace or whatever the fuck was everyone was listening to back then. But watching it live was completely different, man. It's like I remember Gardo, I remember Thought. I remember standing there like going, how the hell are we supposed to play after those bands? It was crazy, man. It was like Cebu's got such a good scene. And the other thing about Cebu scene is like, I mean, look at how many females are here right now. That's so killer, dude. It's so killer. It's like, you know, to me, like, yeah, I mean, like to me, it's huge. It's huge. This is so important that the fact that there's only 2 guys here and there's 3, we are the minority in this, and that's what's so badass about the Cebu punk and hardcore scene, man. Like, it's such an equal playing field. Women run shit there, and that's why maybe Cebu's hardcore scene is better than the rest of the planet.
Awesome, man.
So
I think someone wait. I think someone answered your question. Sound Lounge.
Oh, yeah.
Sound Lounge. Oh.
That was the venue where you guys
Sound
played?
Lounge, yeah.
Is that Sound Lounge?
Is that was the second time? Great. Do you remember?
That was the first. That was the first, though. The first one.
First
that was
venue.
the first.
Nanay's Grill, I think, behind
Okay.
Cebu.
The first one was sick because I remember it was like a 2-floor thing and people were like diving from the top or some shit like that, right? It was crazy.
Look at this comment from Wagner.
4 long hair, 1 no hair. Yo,
That's disrespectful. That's disrespectful, man.
have some respect for your elders.
Oh man, that's crazy.
I'm putting my hat back on. Fuck all you.
Oh, that was Wagner from Thought, and Gardo.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's awesome. I love that guy.
Yeah. So
Okay,
Riz,
so about us, Riz. Now, back to you.
yes.
yeah,
Back
Riz.
to me. About what?
I love
Yes.
how. So a while ago you mentioned like women in hardcore, and you also mentioned your daughter. And you know, I've been following you on social media. You and your daughter have like the sweetest relationship. Like, I don't have any kids, but like that's like goals right there.
Other goals.
Yeah, can you speak?
Thank you.
on that? Can you speak on that? You know,
Yeah.
like raising a kid and being in the scene.
Sure. I mean, as a dad, I mean, like I don't know if it changes things much having a kid, because I mean, the way I've always looked at music and hardcore and punk rock, I mean, like this is it's just something that I love. It means a lot to me. I'm most definitely a guy that believes in the message before the music. I don't really care about the music as much as I care about the message. I mean, that's what got me into hardcore. It's like, oh shit, there's lyrics about racism. There's lyrics about, you know, feminine rights and women's rights and minorities, and like that's the beauty of hardcore. So whenever people are like, oh, I only care about the music in hardcore, I'm like, dude, I don't know. You and I don't connect. And so with my kid, it's like, it's the same thing. Like she does not like heavy music at all. She doesn't like screamy music. She doesn't like heavy music. And my whole deal with this, I'm happy that she doesn't like heavy music and screamy music. The reason why I say that, like, I'm sure people are like, what are you talking about? The reason why I say that is like, for me, I have a deep connection to heavy music because my life sucked. You know what I mean? Like I had a shitty upbringing. I had a horrible relationship with my dad. My dad used to beat me up all the time. Like music was my only escape. And so it was like when I put my earphones on and listen to Slayer or listen to Sick of It All, listen to Minor Threat or whatever, it was an escape, right? Like it was the only thing that brought me some comfort, gave me some solace from my regular shitty life. She doesn't have a shitty life. She has a very happy life. So
That's
the
great.
day that she starts listening to Sick of It All, I'll be like, oh my God, what happened? Where did we fuck up? We fucked up somewhere. What happened? So I mean, that's the way I raise my kid, is just like, dude, listen to whatever you want to listen to, you know, like as long as you really like it. You know, like with me, it's just like, as long as you believe what the person is singing about, you know what I mean? Go and listen to whatever you want to listen to. So she's turned me on to Taylor Swift and stuff like that.
I knew you were gonna say that. I knew you were gonna say that.
Yeah, it's all back here, right behind the Bard record, man. That's her collection over there.
Oh hell yeah! Awesome, man. No, I think talking about Taylor Swift, I think you relate to like songwriting. Her lyrics, she has great lyrics in my opinion. So I think your daughter also gravitates to lyrics and the message, much like her father. So hey, Riz, the heavy part is about to come. I just gotta say that. It might come, you know, like it might start getting into heavier stuff.
Yeah,
I mean, if you look back at I mean, but you guys know, I mean, like all of us, we weren't born listening to heavy stuff. You know what I mean? We weren't born listening to punk rock. We were born listening to, I mean, I'm older. So like when I first started listening to music, it was all like fucking, what was it? It was like Tiffany, Debbie. Do you remember like, what was that? Tiffany, like Bananarama, like what was?
You guys are losing me.
Debbie Gibson. I listen to Debbie Gibson.
Yeah, Debbie Gibson. Debbie Gibson. Yeah, Debbie Gibson was a song.
Music.
Don't start this. That's the topic.
Let me put this into perspective real quick. I was born in 1993.
Oh my God.
Jesus, 93.
I swear,
bro.
Guys. I swear.
I was 16 in 93. Damn, dude.
Yeah, so just putting it into perspective for you guys. So yeah, so Riz, the reason why I asked about your daughter and your family life is it was a nice lighthearted topic to, you know, start the interview, because these girls have some heavier topics. You know, you know the time.
That's what I like. Bring it on. I like. I gotta
throw the ball. Pass it on. Okay, go.
Okay, so since we're done with the lighter topics, as you know how Doms put it, so you know, we're just gonna start with something like, we know that a lot has been going on in Hong Kong, and we understand how things have been tough for you, your family and your friends. And so our question is, how are you coping, you know, with everything, you know, the things that are happening in Hong Kong plus the pandemic? How are you coping?
Yeah, thanks for asking that question. I really appreciate when people from outside of Hong Kong, you know, keep track of what's going on here. It's not been good. It's not been good at all. It's now our third year into it, and there's still stuff going on every day. I mean, we are all, honestly, I'm not lying, we all just live day by day. You know what I mean? Like day to day. Let's just see. Did we make it through that day? All right, let's go to the next day. Let's see if we're going to make it through the next day. Because, I mean, just last week, was it last week? Yeah, just last week, 53 pro-democracy lawmakers and activists got arrested at like 5:30 in the morning. One of those guys is my really good friend. I mean, and he's not even like he's not an anti-China guy at all. I mean, he all he cares about is helping Hong Kong's ethnic minorities. So, you know, ethnic minorities means like Filipinos, Pakistanis, Indians, Nepalis, like us. You know, everyone that's here in this screen right now, if you all lived in Hong Kong, he's the kind of guy that takes care of all of us, right? So he makes sure that any government announcement comes out in all the different languages, in Tagalog, in Urdu, in Nepali. He's that guy. You know what I mean? And so for him to be arrested is just like, that was such a low blow. And it just shows you that we're currently in a situation where, I mean, the government's not sure. They don't know what they're doing. So, I mean, like I honestly, because I'm so vocal and so outspoken, like I'm always just waiting for the knock at the door as well. So we're just going day by day and hoping that we survive and see what happens. I mean, we don't know. We have no idea. I mean, it's 2019 was rough, was very rough, because there's a lot of things going on. There are a lot of videos and like things going on there about, you know, things we would see with our own eyes, and things that we couldn't believe, like stuff that happened. And we're like, what is this happening in Hong Kong? How could this be happening in Hong Kong? And then 2020 July, they launched the new national security law. That completely has changed Hong Kong 100%. So it's like no longer the same city at all. So we're all just living day by day, trying to figure out what we can say, what we can't say. I mean, when my band Dagger, my newest band, was playing, we used to have this flag that we used to put behind us when we played. Now we can't put that flag up anymore. You know, we have to take the flag off. Our backstage, we take it off, and now even in our practice room, we take it off, because you never know when the police will show up, and if they have a certain flag or whatever, you have to take it down. Like just the other day, we had a guy an electrician that came to my own house and to fix the TV. And we have all these like posters and stuff like that, and we covered that poster up just in case an electrician would snitch on us and be like, "Oh, go to that house. That house has got stuff." So we covered that up. You know what I mean? Just in case. We don't know. We don't know what the electrician would have done, but we just don't know right now. I mean, it hurts to be able to say all this stuff, but that's currently the reality of Hong Kong.
Wow. Well, thanks for sharing, man. We here have been kind of worried about, you know, what you guys are going through there. So we're all hoping that you guys are keeping safe, and we're glad to know that you're doing, you know, those preventive measures, you know, to make sure that you guys are not getting tagged by anyone, and, you know, get reported to the police. And we hope that things would get better for you and the people in Hong Kong in the future. And, you know, it's just sad that you guys are going through that, but it's great to know that despite, you know, the hard times, you guys are trying to keep positive.
It's like
Yeah, that means a lot. Yeah, that means a lot, because, you know, especially when we were going through this. I mean, like I think it was Wigner just said, it was like our third year. It is our third year, and it just feels like when we're on our own, you know what I mean? Like you're just like this little tiny city on your own. And so when people are posting about us or Twittering or, you know, Instagram or Facebooking about us, whatever, it means a lot to a lot of people out here in Hong Kong. It let us know that we're not alone. I mean, and the cool thing about staying positive is that suddenly a lot of the people in Hong Kong are waking up to people around the world and other problems that are going on. I mean, like stuff going on in the Philippines as well. Like we know about things that are going on in the Philippines. And suddenly we're finding solidarity with people around the world, like people in Thailand, people in the Philippines, people in Indonesia. Like, I mean, a lot of us around the world seem to be going through rough times right now. And through all the struggle, we're seemingly to find some sort of solidarity. So more power to everybody. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yes.
More power to everyone.
Yes.
So, in relation to, you know, the things that are happening in Hong Kong, and also you mentioned about racism earlier. So Gray posted this question in our group chat, and we'd like to know, what's your take on the U.S. Capitol insurrection?
Wow, you want to go there? Jeez.
That wasn't my question, man. It was great. I was just
Oh
trying to
my
ask.
God.
Yeah.
Riz,
We
I
wanted
told
to-
you, Riz, did I not tell you? Riz, did I not tell you?
Heavy stuff
You guys,
here.
you are awesome. This is already the best interview ever. We're getting political. Holy moly. Okay. All right. If that's where we want to go. I mean, I am a hardcore kid, a punk rock kid through and through. I am a part of the marginalized community of Hong Kong, being an ethnic minority in Hong Kong. So my heart will always be on the side of marginalized people. So I'm most certainly a supporter of LGBTQ rights. I'm most certainly a supporter of POC in the States, Black Lives Matter. I'm definitely a supporter of all of that. So I would say I'm definitely left-leaning kind of person, right? So in terms of what's going on in the insurrection and everything in the U.S., I mean, I've got a lot of comments about it, and I'm sure everyone here has a lot of comments. I mean, America in itself it's insane that in such a big country that like flaunts democracy and tries to spread democracy all over the world, for the fact that America has only 2 political parties is already insane to begin with. Do you know what I mean? That is already crazy that such a gigantic country that's so outspoken is divided into 2 camps. That's crazy. That doesn't make any sense. There's no way that 2 camps can represent such a gigantic country that is so about free speech and liberty and justice. So, I mean, right there, it's already wrong. It's already flawed, right? So in terms of the insurrection and stuff like that, I mean, come on, man. I mean, I don't believe conspiracy theories. I don't go down that rabbit hole. I don't believe that there was voter fraud. Like, I mean, if there was, I don't mean at the extent that Trump and all his idiots were espousing. You know what I mean? Like, he's like, oh, we won by a landslide. We're like, dude, can you do math? You clearly can't do math, right? I mean, like, it wasn't by millions and millions and millions. If there were fraud, I'm sure there was some mistakes or whatever. And like, your case went to the Supreme Court of your own government and your own country, and your Supreme Court judges are appointed by you, you big orange idiot. And so your own judges threw out your case because you don't have any evidence. At that point, you should have been like, all right, let's just peacefully pass the baton over to the next president, which is something that the world is watching. The whole world, authoritarian regimes all over the world watch this every 4 years, every 8 years to see how democracy works and how you could pass the baton from one presidential candidate peacefully to the next. And so authoritarian regimes are watching and are like, oh, how come it never falls apart? How come America never falls apart? How come they always pass it peacefully on? You know what I mean? And so for authoritarian regimes to see what happened last week with the insurrection, they're like, see, told you, democracy sucks. You know what I mean? So it was short-sighted. It didn't make sense in the grand scheme of things. If we're looking at global politics and how sensitive the whole world is right now, it was a stupid thing to happen. And the reason that it sucks is that it just emboldens authoritarian people all over the world, right? So authoritarian dictators are loving it. They love what happened last week. You know what I mean? So that's, I guess, my take on it. I mean, I don't know what else you want me to tell you.
Yeah, that's good insight.
Yeah, and we appreciate you for sharing that. We share the same insight. We just want to know how you think about it, seeing how you openly post about stuff like that on your social media profile, and it's as I've mentioned, that's really good insight. And Dom, do you have something to say?
I think like the summary for like what Riz said is like the too long version didn't read is like for everyone viewing right now is like the world's gone to shit.
Yeah,
that's it. Like,
Right.
it's like COVID, and then they're like taking advantage of COVID, and then they're like taking advantage of all this chaos and just like peddling their own agendas. You know, it's crazy.
Yeah.
I
I mean, at the end of it, making people confused. Absolutely. I think that's why I think governments all over the world are loving the situation right now, because everyone's focus is on the pandemic, staying healthy, trying not to get sick. And so the government behind the scenes are like, oh, now's the perfect time to push this agenda and that agenda and further divide our country, our city, the world. I mean, but at the end of the day, all we can do, and I feel like this is what hardcore and punk rock has always taught me, at the end of the day, all we can do is take care of ourselves and take care of our community. You know what I mean? And for me, our community is the LGBTQ people. It is women. It is ethnic minorities. It is marginalized people. And as long as you're taking care of those people, ignore everything else, man. Just focus on compassion, being caring, being kind to each other. I mean, that's the most important thing. Even if you don't agree with people and their political stances, I don't agree with a lot of people. You know what I mean? I don't agree with a lot of stuff that's anyone that supports a more like a dictator style approach to government. I just cannot back that, because I'm more about no, I need to hear different voices. I need to hear voices that are different from my own, so you can educate me and let me know, dude, you're talking out of your ass. It's because you don't know about their plight. You don't know about the people of that community or that society. And so for me, it's just like, okay, I may not agree with you. Teach me about how we could support our community, make sure our community is strong. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, again, long story short, at the end of the day, as long as we think with compassion and use our heart to talk with people and build community. That's all we can do, I think.
That's a great message, Riz. That's a really great message.
Right on, man. That's good. Okay, so enough with the heavy stuff. That was
Whew.
what a question. I
Damn.
was out of breath because of that. So anyway, let's talk about you. So you play in a band, you manage Unite Asia, you teach at a school, you have a wonderful daughter. Like everyone who follows you knows how your relationship is with your daughter. So how in the world do you juggle with that? Can you walk us through what a typical day is for the Riz Farouk?
Yeah, I mean, my day starts early because I'm a teacher and I teach 6-year-olds. So I'm usually up at about like 5:45 or 6 a.m. And then my daughter usually gets up around that time, and then we just hang out. We have breakfast and stuff, and then I get to work. I think I'm at work by like 7:15 or 7:20 a.m. and I teach. So I'm teaching all day, teach 6-year-olds, and like that's the best part of my day. Really is like hanging out with my kid and then teaching my kids at school. Because I mean, like when 6-year-olds walk through the door, you completely forget about yourself. You forget about the world. You forget how the world's going to shit. You forget all that stuff because 6-year-olds are so hopeful. You know what I mean? They walk in the door like, Mr. Farouki, and I'm like, Theo, what's up? They come in so happy. They're like, I don't know what's going on beyond the world. I'm just happy to see you. And I'm like, yep, I'm happy to see you too. Let's get started. You know what I mean? And it's a cool thing to just always be in that energy and that aura, and that helps you stay positive. Because I mean, like a lot of people, man, like once you get into like a negative world, you just stay in there, dude. And you just stew in this negative, shitty attitude, and that impacts your own mental health. It impacts the relationship with your colleagues, and impact the relationship with your loved one, with my wife and my friends. And so it's like, you got to get out of it, man. You got to get out. And luckily, my kids, my job helps me do that. In terms of Unite Asia, though, like I am someone that just loves music and loves learning about my friends' bands and what's going on. And so like even during the day, I think a lot of people think I have like ADD maybe or ADHD. So there's people are like, you have this attention and then that and that. I'm like, maybe, man. My attention goes all over the place. So in the middle of teaching, I might pull out my phone and just kind of juggle through like IG or Twitter. And if someone will put up a post like, oh, I just released a song, I'm like, shit. And I have to like screen grab that post. And I'm like constantly screen grabbing stuff all day so that when I have time, I can go and then update the Unite Asia post. Like when Thought puts up stuff and like, she like, didn't you guys release something last year? It was like 3 new songs or something, Gray? What was it?
Yeah, just 3 songs. We're so lazy. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's just
you guys.
another 3 songs that we can add for a full length release.
Yeah. So I remember like I was working or I was teaching, and then suddenly a Gray had put up a post on her Facebook or whatever. I'm like, shit, she didn't send this to me. So I have to like screen grab that and then save it on my phone so that when I have time off, and I usually have time off like maybe around lunchtime or like when school's done around 3 o'clock, then I take a break. And a mental break to me is like when I go and update stuff on Unite Asia. So I'll put Thought up or whatever. Then I go home. And luckily, my daughter goes to bed around 7. And then after 7, because I'm old, I stay home, dude. I don't do anything. So after 7 is when I update the website. I can update, like, seriously, I can spend like 3 or 4 hours updating site, like looking up posts and like receiving people's submissions. And when people send me stuff, I have to read through it because I have to vet all the submissions. Yeah. So I read through it. Often bands will just be like, release new song, enjoy. Yeah. And I'm like, oh my God.
You ranted about this. I remember you ranting about this. Like the band just gives you the link and there's like new music from us. And then you're like, what? Now I gotta do the whole research and everything.
Or dude, they don't even include the link. They're like, new song. And I'm like, oh my God, I gotta go find the link. So I gotta go find their Facebook page, and then depends where the band is from. If the band is from the Philippines, I can go to their Facebook page. Yeah. If the band is from Indonesia, I got to go to their Instagram because they hate Facebook. So like, it's just all this constant research. Then you have to write a paragraph about what the band is about. Then you put the post up, and then the band gets all mad. They're like, We are not straight edge hardcore. We are crust punk, neo-classical, blah, 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 whatever. And I'm like, dude, if you had just included that in the beginning, I wouldn't have to do this. So there's a new submission page now.
Okay.
And the new submission page has like a breakdown.
Wait, this
and
is
the
cool.
band
This is
has to
cool.
put it all up.
This is cool. We can actually go to the site and then
Oh,
look.
thank
This
you.
is. We can talk
Yeah,
about it.
show us.
We can talk
Don't-
about it. Wait, we can talk about it. So where is it?
Very
Submit
patient.
news, right? Submit news, right? Submit news.
Look at, okay, Dom,
Yeah.
how hard was that for you to find? It took you 1 second, right?
Yeah, but I'm like an IT dude. Like I kind of know my way around computers.
Dude, you found submit news in 1 second. People will email me like, can't find it. I can't find it. I can't find it. All right, click news right now, Dom. Click news.
Okay. Got it. And yeah, welcome to the Philippine internet, by the way. So if it's slow, it's not our fault.
Look at that. Look at how beautiful. Oh, beautiful. Oh my gosh. What a
that's
work of
great.
art.
Hey, I didn't know about this.
Very detailed.
Post
What a
content.
work of art. Look at this. It is like, oh my gosh, it's like a Picasso. We're watching a Picasso right now. Look at this. Oh my God.
Okay, let's see.
Brilliant.
Let's see. Netflix payment. Here. Let's see that. If it uploads, okay, cool. Hell yeah.
See, look at that. And then when you're done
Link.
with everything, it even gives you a preview to see if you like what you see.
Okay, that's cool. Oh yeah, so you
It
have
is.
you have to do this because it says
Right.
name of the band.
Yeah, there-
genre,
Yes,
contact.
genre is very important. I will not allow you to submit this unless you write down your own genre.
Yeah, you can.
Really?
So okay, cool. We got it. Okay.
Yeah.
That's really awesome, man. Like
Okay.
everything that you need is there, so the band has no excuse to not give you the information that you need for whatever it is that you'd be posting about them and their new releases. So good job on that.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely want to explain that. Of course, we understand that people's English level is different, right? All over Asia. We know that. We understand that. And so I don't get mad when bands send in stuff and they don't write much about it. But like, I would definitely prefer that they write as much as broken English stuff, and then I can fix it for them. But if they don't write anything, then it's hard because then you got to go to their Facebook page. And after running Unite Asia, I understand why some bands have managers. You know what I mean? Because some bands really just need a manager. They need someone to hold their hand. They need someone to be like, I will help you do this. This is how we do this in the real world. You know what I mean? But like, and so I just appreciate that anyone uses the site, because the more information is on the site, the more resourceful it is, right?
Hey Riz, I just looking at the site right now, and like I have like a little background on design and like UX. Maybe submit news should be the first one here. Maybe it should be here.
I agree.
Like I don't know, but
I agree.
but it's not like hard to find though. Like the logo is here and submit news is right here, but I don't know. It could be submit news over here. I don't know, man.
Yeah, I agree with you. Or it should be submit news should be like the main header.
Yeah. It should be. It should be like right here or something. Submit news.
Oh, you know what I would love? I would love for submit news to actually be a hand that comes out of someone's computer and slaps them on the head.
Oh man, that's crazy, man.
Who made the website?
Yeah, who made the website?
A guy in Hong Kong made it. He's a really good dude, and so he like sat down with me, and for hours we tried to explain like what I want. It's not cheap, man. That's why I do kind of always encourage people to go use the website, because I don't get paid for this. You know what I mean? Like there's no advertisements or on it, like stuff like that. So it's just all a labor of love, and so people just use the website. And yeah, I mean the guy is really good, and if something breaks down or whatever, he's pretty quick at fixing it.
Cool, man. That's great.
So relating to what you said a while ago regarding your typical life, I'm a mental health advocate, so I'm very happy that you mentioned about mental health when it comes to your daily life, because I think right now during the pandemic, it's really important to take care of our mental health. So how about you? How do you usually take care of your mental health, especially that you have like a lot of things going on with your life right now?
That's a great question. Thank you, and that's great that you are an advocate for mental health. I mean, I don't know if you've seen on the Facebook Unite Asia's Facebook page. There's like posts about like I have random like conversations and stuff like that. Someone made a post about how they don't like the Metallica documentary, Some Kind of Monster, because they're like, oh, what a bunch of pussies. They need to go see therapy. I'm like, yo, are you crazy? I'm like, I think it's so brave of a band like Metallica letting their fans know, millions and billions of fans know that even us, we need mental health help. You know what I mean? And like you're saying, you're right. Pandemic, especially during this coronavirus stuff, we are all locked in our homes. You know what I mean? And like people have said, like divorce rates have gone up, and physical abuse and sexual abuse numbers have gone up because people are home all the time. It's not a healthy situation, man. Like we should need to take the stigma off of seeking mental health, especially for males. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know why males are like, oh, getting therapy means you're a wuss. I'm like, if you don't get therapy, you're a wuss. You know what I mean? If you don't know that your brain is not working right, that you're too angry, you're exploding on your loved one. If you're not realizing that, it shows a lack of understanding on your part, right? On how much your own mental health is impacting everybody else. And there's like a mental abuse a part about that. You know what I mean? So I agree with you. I think it's really important that people are checking in with themselves, checking in with their loved ones, checking in with their friends. And that's why sometimes when people are like complaining about lockdown, some people are like, oh, the lockdown's been 2 months. Can you believe all these people are going to the beach now? Why aren't they worried about other people? I'm like, yo, 2 months of being locked in at your home, in a small home, like Hong Kong people live in tiny little shoe boxes. 2 months of home, like that's not healthy, man. Go to the beach once or 2 times a month is actually good for them. Like they're getting out, they're getting some sun, they're playing, they're like, enjoying life and getting a little bit of that serotonin, that dopamine back in their brain. So that when they go back to that lockdown situation, they're a little bit more in a positive frame of mind. So I agree with you, man. I think mental health is such an important part of, what's going on in the world right now. We have to check in with each other.
Yeah, because we have different ways of coping up, especially for people who are diagnosed with mental health condition.
Mm.
Right. I mean, and some people who aren't diagnosed with it, and they have no idea that they're complete, like their life is falling apart, and they're just not aware because they don't know how to look for signals, right? They don't know how to look for what's going on around them mentally, in their heart, their emotions. They don't know that they're like, oh shit, I have to go get help now. They don't know about that stuff.
And suicide rates are actually rising right now.
Yeah, you're right. Suicide rates are high right now. You're right. All over the world, right? All over the world, because people can't cope. I mean, they can't cope, like you're saying about, not just illness, right? Not just being sick, but a lot of people have lost their jobs, right? They've lost their jobs. They've got payments to make. They've got rent to take care of. They've got bills to pay. And they're like, how can I get through this? And that's why we have to reach out for people and make sure that at least people in our community, our friends or family, that they're coping and they're surviving, right?
Yeah. So I'm happy that you mentioned that during your typical day, because really it's very important for people. Like more than what we do every day, like music or work, it should be that our mental health is also our priority.
Yeah, absolutely. 100% agree. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing your thoughts about that. And so we've asked this question to the previous guest, and we've asked Jai about this, and I'm not sure if we've asked Jude about this, but would like to know if you're still pumped up with the punk at your age, or has burnout caught up with you?
At my age, how old do you think I am? Guys, let's
Hey,
set
I'm
the
washing
record
my hands.
straight.
I'm washing my hands here. I have no
Let's
part
set
of this.
the record straight. I'm only 44. I'm still alive. I'm still breathing.
Yeah, actually, you're just like six years older than me.
Yeah, we're
38.
reaching 40. We're reaching 40.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
we're
almost
there.
40.
Guys, let me just say right now, for the younger generation, You guys look young. Like, I don't know what you guys are doing, but keep doing it. You don't look old, guys. You're wearing beanies, and I look older than you guys.
That's right. That's right.
Like,
That's
come
a good
on,
reason to get this. I see why you brought this guy along. Thank you. Very good
See?
job. Good job.
See?
Keep it coming. Keep it coming.
Come on. I'm like, come on, guys. Like it's like you don't look old, and you don't feel old, so you're not old. You know what I mean?
We love the flattery, Doms. Thank you.
So, yeah. So
I think honestly,
It's
in terms
because
of
of the
age,
music,
honestly,
man.
yeah, it is. Honestly, you're right, Gray. I really honestly think it's the music. I mean, like
Yeah.
I was saying earlier, because I keep myself busy, it just keeps me moving. I don't really notice my age. You know what I mean? Because no matter how shit it might be in Hong Kong or whatever's going on in the world, I still wake up the next morning and 10 bands have sent me their posts about their new music. I'm like, oh, and like kind of shake my head. I'm like, oh yeah, right. Life will keep going, right? Life keeps going no matter what. So if you're old and gray and jaded and like you hate this, you hate that, dude, step off, man. Get the fuck out of the way. I mean, the kids are going to continue to live. The world is going to keep going. Hardcore will always be alive. Like, I don't know about any of these people who are like, oh, hardcore died in the 80s. I'm like, what, dude? What are you talking about? I heard 20 bands yesterday that like left me in shame. You know what I mean? Like, hardcore will continue, punk will continue, metal will continue, and like that's what keeps me young. You know what I mean? Like what Gray is saying. Like you wake up every day and there's a new band in Jakarta, a new band in Cebu, a new band in Bohol. I didn't even know there was a hardcore band in Bohol, yo. I got a message yesterday. There's a band.
Oh, hell yeah.
Band. I was like,
Oh,
shit,
hell yeah.
I've been to Bohol, and I was like, I didn't even know there's fucking bands on Bohol, that little tiny island. You know what I mean?
Hell
So it's
yeah.
like, it's cool. You know what I mean? That's what keeps me alive. So like, I really feel like punk rock and hardcore will always keep us young. You know what I mean? Like, and there's posts from like bands that are really much older. Like, I don't want to make anyone feel bad, but like, you know, think of it, all guys aren't 27 like Dom here. You know, they're older and they're still doing it. You know what I mean? If they're still doing it, what's my excuse? You know what I mean? I'm not even in a full-time band. You know what I mean? They're in a full-time band. They tour 9-10 months out of the year. And if they can still do it at 51, 52, like shit, dude, I got plenty of time. You know what I mean?
Right.
Crazy.
So,
I mean-
since we're talking about music right now, what's new with your band? Any new shit?
Oh, hell
Coming
yeah. Here we
Have you got
go.
new releases?
Give us a scoop. Give us a scoop.
Doing this time, pandemic.
Yeah, I mean, we work like my newest band is band Dagger, and we started that band in I think it was 2017. We started that band after King Lai Chee finished touring with Thick of It All in the States, and then we came back to Hong Kong, and it was just such a highlight. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even know how to explain it. I'm sure you guys understand, but like Thick of It All was a band that got me into hardcore, like in '93, '94, or whatever. And like, I actually heard them before that. But they were the reason why I got into hardcore. And so like that band, you know, brought us to the States and helped us tour Boston, DC, New York City. Like, I mean, it was just like such a, like, you understand, like I can't even express myself. I'm like, it was such a mind fuck to be in New York City at Thick of It All's 30th anniversary on stage in New York City and be like, holy shit, we're King Lai Chee from Hong Kong. Like it was so crazy, dude. And like I didn't feel like I was on stage representing Hong Kong. It felt like I was on stage representing Asia. You know what I mean? Because Thick of It All had personally selected us to come out. So when we came back from that tour, it was just like, now what? You know what I mean? Like people were like, I don't know what to do next. Like, do we release an album? Like, how do we follow up something like that? We already did something that we never envisioned or dreamed that we could do. I'm literally the highlight of my life was that. You know what I mean? So we kind of took a break. We agreed to kind of take a break. And like, I don't know if Gray, you probably remember this. Like, I mean, like when King Lai Chee first started, I played guitar and sang. And then later I put the guitar down and I was the main singer. So like around November of 2016, I just wanted to start playing guitar again. And I wanted to play a little bit more metallic stuff. You know, bands like Incendiary, Foundation.
Hell yeah.
Stuff that I really appreciated about the 90s was more of the metallic stuff. You know what I mean? Like Turmoil, Snapcase, Strife, you know, like those kinds of bands, Botch, you know, like those kind of bands were like the bands that I really gravitated towards because I grew up on metal. I mean, like a lot of people listening, probably, I grew up on metal, on like Slayer, Pantera, Anthrax, all that type of stuff. But I love the attitude of hardcore. And I was living in the States during 94 to 98, so I got to see a lot of this stuff. And I was like, oh, what a brilliant idea, combining metallic music in hardcore, but singing about straight edge, singing about veganism, singing about racism. And so, you know what I mean? It was so cool to see all that stuff. So around 2016, like I was like, oh, I want to play guitar again. Fuck singing for a while. You know what I mean? So like I started writing riffs and stuff like that. And so I was like, how about I just start like a little side project with my drummer at the time, Ayban, who was such a killer drummer. And so that was like a catalyst of like doing something a little bit more like you know, Botch or Turmoil or early Converge, you know, early Cave In, like that type of stuff. Very metallic, but still very socio-political. You know what I mean? And so I started the band in January of 2017. And I didn't realize that band was going to take off, dude. That band took off. I was like, oh, shit. It took off. And 5 months after that, it was when King Lychee, we just kind of like, that's it, we're done. I mean, like, and we ended on a good note. And so Dagger's been my main band. And almost every year of that band, we've released something, like either an EP or a split, and we've done a bunch of tours. Last year, we did a split song with Greg of Trial. You guys know Trial, right? That 90s hardcore band. Yeah. I mean, Trial is like, whew, oh my God, that band is unbelievable. Like that band, not just musically is unbelievable, but lyrically, that band is unbelievable. And because he started a new band, he's like, hey, dude, you know, America's going through a bunch of shit. Hong Kong's going through a bunch of shit. Why don't we just do a split with my new band called Bystander? And I was like, hell yeah, that's sick, dude. That'd be great. And so within a month, we both had written a song and released a song, recorded a song. So guys, everyone can check that out. That was last year. But unfortunately, because of COVID and the Corona stuff, our drummer actually lives in Macau. He doesn't live in Hong Kong. He lives in Macau, which is another island away from Hong Kong. So our ferries were closed. They've been blocked. So he hasn't been able to come here. I haven't seen him in a year. I haven't seen him in 11 months. Like last time I saw him was in February last year. So that kind of put like Dagger on hold, because we're not a band that just kind of like sends MP3s back and forth. We're just not that type of band. Like we got to actually be like, send MP3s back and forth and get into the studio or in our jam space and like play the stuff live, because we're such like feel and emotional kind of band. And so that kind of like, until he can come back here, we kind of just are sitting around not doing anything. However, because I've got ADD and because I love singing, I was just like, oh shit, I want to start singing again. So I started a new band. There's a brand new band that's got 7 songs already done. I'm recording the rest of the vocals tomorrow. And that band will be out hopefully either end of January or early February. We'll have it out, and it's very like D-beat hardcore punk. It's just like straight ahead, like just, you know what I mean? Like not metallic at all. It's just straight up. You know what I mean? And so
can you drop the name? Can you drop the name? Are you comfortable? Are you comfortable dropping the name?
Well, here's the problem with dropping the name. Here's the problem, dude. Every good band name is taken. You know what I mean? So it's like this band name, it's a 1-word name, and then when I saw it, I looked it up. I'm like, what the hell? No band has named this? I'm pretty psyched that no band has named this. However, I'm sure I'm wrong. I'm sure some guy in freaking Santa Rosa City in Laguna or somewhere in the world is gonna be like, yo, that was my band when I was 14. I'm like, I don't know anything about your band when you were 14, man.
That's crazy, man. So yeah, that's cool. You're doing like you're pursuing music still. Dagger right now is taking a little break, so now you're pursuing this new band you can't speak of yet. The name, because the name might be taken by someone else or something.
Yeah. I mean, but all of you guys are all connected to me, and you're connected to United Asia. You'll see like when it gets launched, you'll see the name and stuff like that.
Cool.
Awesome. Yeah, that's something to look forward to.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, we have questions, Pa. We have questions.
I'm just checking the comments, and like my friend Sean Villarreal is saying King Lychee for the win.
No.
So like, like King Lychee will always be a part of you, and like you'll always have that. Oh shit, King Lychee, like
I appreciate that. I mean, King Lychee has a long history in the Philippines. I mean, I personally have a long history in the Philippines, but the band has a long history too. Because I mean, our first show in the Philippines was opening for NoFX. in like 06 or 07, and we came out, and like I'm not shitting you. I'm not shitting you, but at the end of that Manila show, because the Manila hardcore kids, the Philippines hardcore kids came out and represented, El Jefe and Fat Mike at the end of that show came up to me and were like, yo, that show was like split in half. They're like, man, people really love King Lai Chi. I'm like, what can I say, man? I mean, Philippines likes their hardcore, man. They've been going hardcore since the 80s for sure. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah, man.
Shout out to like Joey and Marvin, like all my dudes that showed up, friends that like, I think Joey and Marvin, that might have been the first time we actually met face to face. You guys know who I'm talking about, right? Joey Intolerant and Marvin from Bad Burn. And
hell yeah.
like,
Manila
scene. Years. And that was like the first time we actually met. And they went off for King Lai Chi. And I remember like I was playing guitar, and I think I must have stage dive off the stage. I don't know what I did, something stupid. And some guy like took my hat. And at the end of the show, I was so bummed. I was like, oh, that was my favorite hat, man. And then Marvin showed up. He's like, yo, here's your hat back. I'm like, you took my hat? And he's like, no, dude, I didn't take your hat. Some other dude took your hat, and I took it back from him. I was like, if you ever take it from my friend again, I'm gonna beat the shit out of you. Marvin, man. Marvin's the man.
Awesome, man. So I'm just gonna read out the rest of the comments, man. You got Sean Tagalog. He's like, yo, what up, Riz?
Hell yeah, what up?
And then I think Dio said like he saw during MTV days with No Effects in Manila. You were playing guitar.
Yes, that's right. Like that's the story I was just sharing.
Yeah, the story
I remember. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if Dio remembers this. I mean, that was the first time. So we arrived in Manila. It was the first time I'd been in the Philippines. I remember going to our hotel room or whatever room we had. I remember turning the TV on, and like I'd already been friends. Like I said, I've got such a long history with the Philippines, man. The Philippines, I love the Philippines. And so like, I remember I had friends with, I was friends with like so many bands, and I was friends with the guys in Typecast. And that was the first time I turned the TV on, and Typecast was on freaking MTV, like their music video. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, they're on they're on MTV. I could not believe it, right? So at the show, all the Typecast guys, they came to the show. They're like, they came, like I was at the merch table, and they came and introduced themselves. And I was like, holy shit. I was like, dude, Filipino humility is second to none. Filipino humility. I'm like, you guys are just on MTV, and you're introducing yourselves to me. You know what I mean? I'm just like this fucking little Pakistani guy in a band from Hong Kong. It was just so rad. It was so cool. I mean, like, it was just, and I think that was the days when they, like they had the emo hair.
Yes.
Right? They had
believe me, I know. Riz, like, I worship Typecast. I worship Typecast.
They had the emo hair. The hair like this. Right? That one. I don't know how to make it. I need something black. They had that hair. The badass hair, man. It was awesome, dude. It was such a great experience, dude. It was, and then I think every year after that we came back, man. I think we came back and played SummerSlam twice. Yeah. I mean, I think someone said
SummerSlam 2008 or something.
Yeah, something crazy like that. And it was Joey. It was Joey that hooked us up, man. Joey hooked us up with SummerSlam, that first one too.
Yeah, here it is.
Yeah,
here it is.
2008. There's Gary. He knows what's up. Yeah, he knows what's up. That was crazy, dude. SummerSlam, and like we played. Who was on it? It was like Darkest Hour was on it, and somebody. Oh, Shadows Fall. And so when we were playing on stage, and we just fucking tore it up, man. I didn't give a shit if anyone liked us. And I remember people were telling us that SummerSlam has the net, right? The net in front of the band. Because if the audience doesn't like you, they start throwing bottles and rocks and shit, and right? Yeah. They had a net in front, and so no one threw anything out on stage. I'm like, oh shit, people like us. And I remember looking to the left and stage left, and I remember Brian from Shadows Falls was watching us, and he was just like, hell yeah, like going off like this, because he's a hardcore kid. It was cool, and I remember then because I got you know what I mean? Like I got affirmation from freaking Shadows Fall guy. I was like, fuck the net, man. So I opened the net and I went out or I don't know what I did. Something crazy, man. I remember that it was dope. And then the following year was sick too. And we made CDs, like we burned CDs in the hotel room in Manila or whatever it was. Yeah. And we went out and threw CDs out into the crowd, dude. It was sick, man. SummerSlam was sick.
Awesome, man. Wow. Holy shit. Man. So yeah, just basically no more questions from us, man. Like they're just people shouting out, like, pa-shout out for LA Gun, mga amigo. You're just like people showing love all over the Philippines. Awesome.
Hell yeah, man. Dude, I've got stories for days in the Philippines, man. It's
Awesome,
just, there's
man.
so many good things that happen in the Philippines. I remember one time, you guys, great. Have you toured up in Laguna? Did you play with Pile Driver in their scene
Yes,
in Santa
yes.
Rosa City? Yeah, I mean, like, that's great. That's another sick scene, right? I mean, I remember when the Pile Driver guys brought us out. I don't know if it was an anniversary or whatever it was, but I remember, oh God, who was the guitar player at the time? I can't remember who the guitar player was at the time, but we stayed at his house. You know what I mean? It was so sick because we arrived after we got from the airport. They took us to like his house or whoever's house, and they had food prepared for us, like at someone's house, and like
Awesome.
of course there was a karaoke machine ready to go. You know what I mean? Philippine style.
Yeah.
And so it was sick. It was so rad. It was such a family experience. There's food and there's all this cool stuff. And I remember after that show, they took us back to his house, and we all stayed at his house. Like, you know, we slept on the floor or whatever, whoever's room or whatever it was. And I remember waking up to his kid playing Spider-Man on my head.
That's wild, dude.
Spider-Man, like he had his Spider-Man noise. He was like boing, boing, like on my head.
Whoa.
It was so rad, dude. I mean, I love the Philippines. I love the Philippines because it's just always like one big happy family, man. No matter what, no matter if the equipment is not great, if the Wi-Fi sucks or whatever, people are always apologizing. They're like, we're so sorry. I'm like, I don't give a shit, man. Like, the audience goes crazy no matter what. You know what I mean? The audience goes crazy. The promoter goes crazy. It's just such a dope scene. Like, people all over the world need to go to the Philippines. Even to the point where the Sick of It All second tour that I organized, they were like, you know, where else should we go? I'm like, go back to Manila. They're like, are you sure we should go back? I'm like, yes, you should go back. And they probably hate me because the only route I could give them to play in Manila, because the flights are all crazy in Asia, they're so messed up, was after their Jakarta show, they had to get on a plane to fly to Manila. That same night they had to get, I'm sure they were so mad. But when they arrived in Manila, dude, of course, like, you guys go crazy. They're like, all the photos of them smiling, and that's just how great the Philippine scene is, man.
Cool, man. So yeah, I think, like, I'm sure you can tell us all the stories, and like, we don't really want to take much of your time. You haven't had dinner yet.
Oh, question.
You know? Yeah. Oh wait. Okay. Gray has a question.
Yeah, so this is last. So we've talked about pandemic. We talked about your bands and your personal life. What can you share about our scene here? Because you've seen how small the scene here and how
In Cebu, yeah, in Cebu.
it is. So my question is, what can you impart or advice coming from a very big scene and, you know, very successful scene there? What can you advise from, like, us, you know, the organizers and the future organizers here, on how we can, you know, step up and, you know, do better, like, you know, all we, because it's all about money, right? But then I know money, there's a way. So
Yeah.
so that's what I've been doing for the past year, but I don't think that's very effective. So maybe there's we can get something from you. Yeah, you've organized really big shows, and, you know, the kids love that, and of course I think the kids deserve that here too. So
Yeah, I mean, I think my experience with Cebu is, you know, because we've been going back and forth a bunch of times, and I've got a lot of friends there and stuff like that. I mean, I think you guys have the right attitude. I mean, like I said earlier, the fact that there's, you know, 3 women here, part of this Cebu, this whole conversation right now, it speaks volumes, man. I mean, like, just in terms of representation, you're already doing the right thing. So, I mean, I don't know if I can give you more advice than what you're doing. I should be getting advice from you. I'm like, how in the world did you guys get so many women involved in the hardcore scene in your community? I mean, like, that's the beauty of what you're doing, and just keep doing that. I mean, in terms of organizing and promoting, I mean, I think one of the best things that anyone can do is just to be a little bit more professional about things, right? I mean, luckily, I've been touring Asia for like almost 20 years now, and things just keep getting better and better and better. And people just know, they're like, yeah, you know, if I invite an overseas band or whatever, I need to get my shit together. You know what I mean? I need to know what time I'm picking people up. Where are they staying? Or, you know, do they have food prepared for that band? Because they're going to be tired flying is not easy. Checking in at hotels is not easy. You know what I mean? And so, and you know, a lot of bands when they travel Asia, they have to get up at 4 or 5 a.m. to go to the airport. Like, I mean, people need to understand that they might play the show and get back to the hotel room at 1 a.m., 2 a.m., go to sleep. They have to get up at 4 or 5 a.m. because the travel from the hotel to the airport can be 2 hours. Then you need to check in to the airport 2 hours before. So that's 4 hours before you get on the flight. Then you get on the flight and you arrive. You know what I mean? And sometimes when you arrive in the hotel, in the airport, you're going through customs, and a lot of bands are scared because they didn't get work visas. They're coming in as tourists, and they're like, "Oh shit! Don't check that bag. Don't check that bag. If you check that bag, all they're gonna see is merch. All they're gonna see is t-shirts and t-shirts and t-shirts." So there's all this like emotional duress, almost emotional stuff, and then finally you go through immigration. You're like, "Oh, done." Then you get picked up, and when you get picked up, and the guy's just kind of sitting there on his phone, and you're like, "Dude, where's the van?" They're like, "Oh, I forgot to call. The van's coming." And you're like, "What? Oh, we've been up since 4 a.m. We just need to get to the hotel or wherever it is and just get some sleep just for an hour or two." And the guy's like, yeah, don't worry. Don't be such a rock star. And you're like, I'm not being a rock star, bro. I'm really not being a rock star. And I'm not saying, like, please, anyone listening, I'm not talking about Philippines. This has never happened in the Philippines, ever. It's never happened in the Philippines. But I'm just saying that it does sometimes happen, and like bands feel bad because they're like, oh, you know, we don't want to look like rock stars, but we haven't had any sleep. And sometimes if they're touring Asia and if they're on the end of the tour, like they've done like 8 days, 9 days, imagine that, man, they're done. They've aged 100 years by the time they get to your city. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think it's just, sometimes we just got to think about that. Just like we got to always think about the compassion piece. And I know, like Gray, you're saying money is a very important part. We can't put bands up in really nice hotels. We can't give them like beautiful dining. They're not getting steaks for dinner or whatever it is. But just, you know, they know that you cared about them to prepare food. You cared about that. You prepared water for them. Like even when you get picked up and there's water for them, like, you know, just show up and like, hey, we got water for you, whatever. Like bands are like, what? You got water? Dude, thank you so much. What? Dude, people get excited for water. You know what I mean? Like, it just shows that, like the hospitality aspect of it. Just continue to just try to step up your game. You know, like you're saying, Gray, it was such a great way to put it. Just step up your game a little bit. Like, of course, we come from the world of punk rock. Of course, we're going to be DIY. Of course, we're not going to give you like the best things ever. You know, we're going to do the best that we can and just be hospitable, kind, and courteous. You know what I mean? And I think that's the key, I think.
Yeah, because like, you know, mostly we are so grateful for touring bands to come here in Cebu because mostly they just go to Manila and then they have to fly back because Manila have more access and more frequent flights to other countries. And here they have to extend more of their effort to come here to Cebu. So we rarely get touring bands, you know. So once we get one, we make sure that, you know, even if we have to spend our own money, then we have to spend. So I think that's part of being in a community. And then internet came, and then your website came, so it's very easy to plug things. And so we are thankful for that, for all your effort,
for your help.
Yeah, I mean, and I know I can speak from my own personal experience. Yeah, you guys definitely take care of every band. I mean, I've been there twice, and I know that you guys take care of everyone. And I know, and again, like I was saying earlier, like, you know, a lot of Philippine scenes, a lot of third countries, like you know, Indonesia or whatever, they're so apologetic. They're always apologizing. I remember in Cebu, don't you guys have really shitty traffic? You have bad traffic, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I remember, I think it was, I remember Kenji. Shout out to Kenji. I remember Kenji was driving us around, and he was like, yo, I'm so sorry about the traffic and stuff like that. I'm like, who cares, man? We're hanging out in Cebu. The weather's beautiful. We're driving around with this guy. He's taking us around. This is fucking amazing. And it's just like, whatever, dude. Just, you know, apologize for whatever it is and just be like, hey, you know, we're still doing the best that we can. And Cebu, like you guys always do. And remember, if a band comes, like, you know, I think Malevolence came to Cebu or whatever. Yeah, Malevolence. But if a band comes and if they enjoyed what happened, right? If they enjoyed the time, dude, their word of mouth is going to spread like fire. They're going to be like, yo, you got to go to Cebu. It was amazing. It was a great scene. So you just got to think about, in terms of marketing and promotion, you know, like word of mouth is the best way to market your scene, right?
True.
Nice. Thanks, Riz. I think
Riz,
Thanks a
we're
lot,
just
Riz.
gonna we're just gonna mention this comment. It basically sums everything up. So it's like, thank you so much, Riz. Hope to see you again here in Mindanao, in Cebu, in the Philippines.
Manila.
We just love your energy, Riz. Anytime we get
No
to
problem.
like converse with you, whether it's online or like via chat. This is like the first time we like really talk, And
Yeah.
then like it's just cool, man. Like just keep spreading those good vibes, and we love reading your rants. So like just keep doing you, man.
I appreciate it. You know what I mean? Because like, yeah, I mean, like Gray was saying, like, come from a big scene. Actually, Hong Kong is not a very big scene. So when I do these little things on Unite Asia or whatever, put up a post, I have zero like idea or assumption that anyone's reading it. Honestly, I have no assumption that anyone reads any post. And then when I know that people actually are, like when we toured Malaysia last year, people were like, yo, that post that you made about the LGBTQ rights or whatever, like it's a big topic of conversation in Malaysia. I'm like, are you
Awesome.
serious? They're like, yeah, that's a big topic of conversation. I'm like, that's cool, man. That's cool that anything I do has any value. I have no idea. If anything I do has any value or is worth anything. It's just like me, this one guy sitting in their living room. That's my living room. That's where I sit and do everything.
Awesome.
And then it just goes up.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, the Christmas tree is still up.
Yay, still the holidays.
Just keep doing you, Riz. So we just want to thank you for your time, man.
Yeah.
No problem. No problem.
Oh hell yeah! Oh hell yeah!
Cebu represent.
Thank you so much.
I forgot
Thank
to wear
you,
my
Riz.
Gardo shirt. I should wear my Gardo shirt.
Oh,
Shout out
yeah.
to Gardo. Okay.
Yeah, actually, Queen City Crew will be finally releasing their album soon, so we're looking forward to that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Queen City Crew?
Yeah,
Yeah.
just keep it on the down low. Keep it on the down low.
Well, this doesn't help being on the down low. You got the guy from Unite Asia on your thing.
Thank you
Yo,
so
shout
much.
out, man. Definitely. Shout out to Queen City Crew, to Gardo, to Thought. Tiger Pussy, such a great band.
Hell yeah.
Left of Center, such an awesome band. I know Edwin started that band, Liberty and Justice. What a great band in the States.
Yeah.
Of course, Genji, Boundary. Of course, Homs for like helping us out for the last show. You guys all rule, man. Represent.
Thank you, Riz. Take it
Yeah.
easy, man.
Thank you.
You can
Eat
have
your
another
dinner.
one.
Eat your dinner, man.
Yes,
Take it.
I'll go eat dinner now.
All the time.
Thank you, Riz. Take it
Thank you,
easy.
guys. Bye. Bye. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Yo,
English ba?
that was a long conversation, guys. That was
I
a
need a
super long
fucking
conversation.
break.
Wow, thank you, Riz.
Good news si Riz.
Yes.
So
Pero
guys,
grabe.
now, kung na may album, kailangan nyo i-share sa Southeast Asia, diretso na mo sa uniteasia.org, katong ipakita ni Doms, diretso na mo pinipin dito, para gamay na lang yung buhaton. Kinuwi sa biya.
Okay.
Kasi makayaw-yaw na sa si Riz.
Yeah, sa una, wala ba yan sa una ha? Grabe, sa panahon nila. So,
It's good
Pero,
that you've been promoted.
grateful kay ta ka. Automatic na ang promotion. Southeast Asia, pag yun.
Lagi. Tataka. Gabi ho itong istorya. Like, ni chat series. Ni chat series atong private nga chat mo siya na, I'm in no rush. Just keep it going as long as you'd like. And we're like, oh, grabe ho ni.
Like, grabe gid kayo. Like,
It's good because it's so engaging by
Yeah, salamat sa tanang nag-tune in ha.
and also for those who made their comments, salamat tayo.
Tabak, Jed, hi Jed.
Si Jed. Hey, Jed.
So by the way, we still
Bacolod hardcore.
Kanya, mas 4 mo bitan.
Hello.
Magandang gabi.
Good
Magandang
evening.
Hindi ka namin nakita, no?
Hindi ka namin makita.
Ayan.
Uy, nagda-drive pala. Oh.
Nagda-drive ako.
Is there, there's a will.
Oh.
Hi, Boyet. Happy
Saan
New
ka ba ngayon,
Year.
Boyet? Saan ka nag-drive? Nasa QC ka?
Ha?
Nasa QC ka ngayon?
Oo. Galing ako 7-Eleven eh. Oh, kasi ang hirap ko connect kanina. So, kinonect ko muna. Tapos pumunta ako 7-Eleven. May inutos kasi sa akin eh. Kasi birthday nung lola ko eh. So,
Hello!
Sorry Okay lang ba?
Okay lang ba?
Oo,
Okay
okay
lang na
lang.
ano kami. Nakabula ka namin ngayon.
Oo. Kaya lang kanina nagbibisaya ako kayo, hindi kayo maintindihan eh.
Ay, nandiyan.
Oo nga eh.
Sorry.
Ang alam lang Bisaya, ang butsa mo, tsaka ang gugma ko kanimo da.
Wow! Grabe ah.
Sige, guys, so Boyet is here. We just want to introduce him. Probably kilala niyo na siya, no? Pero sa yung hindi nakakilala kay Boyet, of course, sila yung nag-organize sa Manila scene. He plays for Beauty of Doubt and he plays for Nonentities. At ang dami pa niyang banda, hindi ko na alam.
Yes, dami niyang affiliations.
Betray! Yes. Ayan.
Pero
So,
bata
thank
pa,
you, Boyet.
pero bata pa ako.
Yes, of
Of
course.
course, alam mo, siguro may mas matanda pa sa'yo kasi kanina may may guest din kami sino ba yun? Si Jude. O, syempre,
Ayan,
mas
si
matanda sa'yo
Jude, si Riz, si
Riz,
Jai.
si Jai,
So-
si Overthrown.
So now you're next kasi we've inspired kami sa mga works niyo dyan and you're one of the people that we look up to in terms of our
Salamat.
scene.
Yes.
Oo. So, I think, ano pa ngayon? Magpo-question.
Okay lang ba na baka ay hirap yung mag-drive tsaka yung mag-live
Oo nga,
stream.
ingat ka lang ha.
Okay ka, oo.
Hindi,
Okay ka lang?
okay lang ako.
Baka nag-commonwealth ka.
Okay lang.
Ano
Magaling
na
ka
daw
mag-drive.
niya? Parang Google Maps, parang ano na daw yan? Parang, ano tawag doon? Naka-autopilot.
Pwede rin naman,
Ito yan, social eh. Kasi ito yung talagang magandang interview kasi
Okay.
nasa nasa sakay, nasa
Oo nga, oo nga. Diba?
yung sabi ni background manager natin, yung baka yung message na lang niya sa scene kasi nagda-drive eh. Message niya sa scene.
Message.
Pero may
Hindi naman, I have questions for Boyet. Dami niyang i-share.
Yung baka na nagda-drive, baka mahirapan. Delikado. Medyo delikado naman.
Ulit, Boyet. Okay lang ba sa iyo?
Kasi,
tawag
kasi nag-uusap lang naman tayo, nakaharap naman.
Okay. Okay.
Para lang may kausap, para lang may kasama ako.
Okay.
Ayan, galing.
Happy
Multitasking.
anniversary pala. Happy anniversary.
Thank you.
Possibly nandito kayo eh. Kung wala na sana ng COVID eh, di ba?
Oo.
Pwede kayo.
Oo.
Sige, sino
Oo.
question kay Boyet? Ikaw.
Hindi. Ikaw. Hindi. First muna, Boyet, kumusta? Kumusta kayo
Yes.
dyan? I mean, kumusta ka personally? Especially ngayong pandemic.
Ako,
Kumusta ang mga buhay?
mabuti naman, okay naman, safe naman kami. Pero ngayon kasi, medyo excited ako kasi nanganak yung ako eh.
You're crazy.
Nanganak
Kasi
na 4.
kagabi, akala ko, sino nga yung, yung partner ni Boyet? Si Kat ba yun? Naloko mo
Sino?
kagabi. Akala ko yung partner mo nanganak. Hindi pala. Literally, yung pusa niya.
Oy, ang cute kaya ng mga pusa
Oo
niya.
nga eh. Gusto ko ng isa.
Apat na anak.
Nako, may ginawa ko. So, pag pumunta ako dyan, talagang watch out. Baka mawala yung isa
Yeah,
mo.
cat lover yan, si Boyet.
Pag mga cat lovers tayo, marami kang
Oo nga.
pusa.
Ito na ba yung pusa mo?
Oo, so yun.
Okay. Tapos, kamusta naman ang work, Boyet, business?
Okay naman, kasi since kami, graphic design, advertising, obviously ngayon, medyo ang mga kumikita yung mga food corporations di ba?
Yeah.
Mga deliveries, mga ganun, puros pagkain. So, basic okay pa rin naman.
Busy
Hindi
din.
naman kami, affected kami pero hindi katulad ng mga ibang
Diba?
businesses.
So,
Okay, that's good.
Ayun.
So at least, so hindi masyadong affected for the. So, pero yung work, I mean yung mo, like work from home, or you still go to the office, or may new normal. Affected ka rin ba sa new normal?
Pareho. Work from home kami, tapos twice per week kami nasa office. Ayun.
So at
nice.
least,
Ano naman kami, since designing, di ba, email, gano'n.
Yeah.
Pero siyempre, dahil nakakasuya rin pag parating sa house, so okay lang na magkita-kita kami sa office, gano'n, kahit twice a week. Para
Right. Okay.
At least hindi naman.
nakapunta na kayo doon, di ba, sa office namin?
Hindi pa ako.
Sina ano yun eh, sina Jan.
Ha? Sa office? Sa office
Siya.
sa show? Di ba?
Hindi.
Sa bahay mo, yes. Thank you
Oo.
so much for accommodating us.
Ako laging hindi. Hindi nakakapunta. Kasi may work.
Hindi ka sumasama.
Hindi, usually pag may gigs yan, may work din.
Yeah.
So, yun.
Right. Sige, may questions kami sa iyo, Boyet, kasi tapos na tayo sa personal. Well, just ask advice or ano bang mga what's going on in your scene there. Sige, go.
Oh yeah, ngayon,
Ano?
Manila, musta ba yung eksena ng Manila? Kahit pandemic, meron pa bang
Before COVID and now COVID.
during
So far, ang nanonotice ko lang, yung mga ibang bands, yun nga, gumagawa lang muna ng mga sariling music videos or nagpa-perform sila live, online, ganon. Tapos, yung iba, active naman sila, parang create sila ng music and recording, parang ganon. Tapos, may mga nag-attempt din na nag-live, pero so far, ganun pa rin. So, or on social media. Kasi, well, actually, nag-live kami, Nonentities, last month yata yun, sa dito Mexico City.
Yan!
Yun pa lang naman yung mga nangyari. Tapos yun nga, kahit pa paano, yung bands magawa ng songs para by the time na hindi na sigurong ulit tumugtog, ayun, meron mga bagong materials yung mga bands. So far, ganun pa lang yung dun sa nakikita ko and sa ginagalawan ko na sa scene namin. Ayun.
Boyet, kamusta?
Mabuti.
Ayan, si Carlo. Carlo is
Ay,
coming.
Pumasok, Carlo.
Carlo.
Yes. Welcome, Carlo.
Namimiss ko na yan si Boyet. Namimiss ko na katugtugan yan.
Ayun.
So,
So, ganun pa lang naman.
pero before sa COVID, marami bang nakabook sana?
Yeah, naka-line up
Na mga
cancel.
gigs or tours?
Yung mga tugtog, mga ganon. Actually, alam ko may mga imported bands na sana darating eh. Kaya lang dahil sa COVID, yun din.
Anong bands, Boyet? Pa-share naman.
Yes. Malay mo, bigla kaming na naman.
Pa-share naman. Ano bang mga banda yun?
Ano sanang mga banda na
Nakalimutan ko na yung pangalan eh.
nako, signs of aging yan, ha? Kala ko ba, bata pa tayo eh.
Hindi, parati akong makakalimutin ako actually. Makakalimutin talaga, period.
Pero ano bang mga moving forward, kung example, continue si COVID this year, pero matatapos siya next year, ano bang plans natin dyan sa Manila, sa mga kids dyan? Ano bang naka-line up na gusto nyong itugtog or mga banda na mga touring bands na dadalhin dyan?
So actually kami, tumutulong lang naman kami sa yung group, yung Sleeping Boy Collective. Sila talaga yung matas na nagdadala ng foreign acts. Ngayon, mga foreign bands. So kami, nag-help lang kami. Tapos, so, kaya sa kanila namin nalalaman kung sino yung mga pero kami, yung group namin sa Counterflow, bali, ang ginagawa naman kasi namin more yung tumutulong kami na sa mga nangangailangan ng like, for example, yung mga sa scene, yung mga bands na let's say may sakit, gano'n. So, ina-approach kami para magkaroon. Tapos gumagawa kami ng benefit show para makatulong sa yun nga, dun sa yeah, for example, yung pang-bayad sa yung hospital bill, gano'n, or kung ano man na pwedeng matulong, gano'n. Tapos nag-ano kami ng bands para tumulong din sa amin. Yun. siguro alam niya naman yan, di ba? Natutog
Yeah.
Yeah. I think nakapunta ako one time doon sa, before ako umuwi ng Cebu, noong 2018, si Moss, ano? Doon.
Most,
Nakakamiss
matalino.
ko.
Pero wala pa kayong specific line-up for the next year. Wala ka pang
Next year, wala pa eh. Although, wala pa eh. Kasi, although talagang hopeful kami sana this year, pwede na eh. Pero gusto na nga namin mag-book ulit. Kasi normally, pag nag-book kami, ahead of time talaga eh. Kaya lang nga, parang wala pa eh. Wala pang nakikitang ano eh, kung ano mangyayari, di ba?
Maganda dyan yet. Tour talaga ng Cebu. Tame, Non-E, di ba? Kaya yung maganda. Pagkatapos na tong pandemic, ayun, parang hardcore fest yata mangyayari dito
Talaga. Sana nga pwede na.
Hindi, sa atin, hindi lang dito, sa atin lahat. Sigurado parang, syempre, namimiss lahat ng tao yung gig eh.
Oo.
Kahit,
Tapos,
di ba, parang siguro pagbalik niyan, ang sarap mag-ganon yan, ang sarap mag-hardcore fest niyan,
Oo. At saka pumunta sa beach. Sasamahan kami ni Gray.
Ayun.
Yes.
Yung maganda.
Boyet, my question here from Wigner. Sabi daw niya, baka ma-aksidente ka dyan But may question siya.
Hindi.
Oo, sabi niya,
Nagturo sa...
Si Wigner, naturo siya mag-multitask.
Ano?
Okay, may question si Wigner. So, ito, basahin ni Gray.
so number 1, what is something about you that people in punk scene would get a surprise reaction?
Grabe
Sa akin?
Very personal.
Parang wala. Simple lang naman ako eh. So, wala akong maisip eh.
Isipin mo.
Siguro kung kumanta ako.
Lagi kang
Pwede yun.
Siguro kung magkaroon ako ng kanta tapos yung kumanta ako, gano'n. Yun. Wala akong isip.
Sa Beauty of Doubt ba, ikaw ba yung like the main composer or it's a collaborative
It's a collaborative.
Kasi, so far, yung pagsali ko ng Beauty of Doubt, wala pa naman, parang ongoing pa lang yung mga bagong songs, yung compositions, although medyo stop. Pero, wala pa talaga ako na contribute as yung composer. Kasi pagdating ko, tapos yung album sila di ba? So, ako yung parang pinaka-bagong member. So, yun. Ganun lang.
Okay.
And
Si Carlo, baka may question.
Yeah. Go, Car.
Wala na. Natanong nyo na yata lahat eh. Sorry kasi nahuli ako.
Pero yung band kami sa Bitrate, kaka-release lang namin yung latest namin na CD. Ayun. And yung Nonentities naman, baka lang magkaroon na ng album gano'n soon. Hindi natin alam. Ayun lang.
Ano bang ginagawa ng banda? What are you doing nowadays na pandemic? Are you productive more on doing songs sa studio or online streaming, playing? Ano ba yun?
Sanong banda mo ba yun?
Oo nga, ang daming banda boy.
Sa Bitrate, ongoing naman yung pagsulat ng songs. Kasi dapat nga last year lalabas na namin yung follow-up pero nabitin dahil sa dapat may bagong album ulit. So hopefully this year. Tapos Tikbalang, hindi naman na kami active Parang tumutulong, nag-play kami para minsan tumulong para, let's say sa counter flow, para tumulong din. Yung ganun na lang, pero hindi naman na talaga kami active. Hindi kami gumagawa ng songs. Tapos sa non-entities naman, yun, tinatapos din namin yung mga ibang songs namin. Ganun. So, hopefully, ma-record na rin siya.
May album ba coming that we need to look forward? Siyempre, 1 year na, no?
Basta kasi mahirap kumilos talaga.
Back to you guys.
Guys, ang internet niya, Si Boyet, nasa kasi siya, field work.
Go.
Ayun.
Ayan.
Guys.
While waiting for Boyet,
Carlo, you plan.
Technical difficulties, teka.
Technical difficulties, Boyetron. Namang ko sa gawas. Gawas.
Si Carlo,
Mo. Okay, sorry kayo kay dugay kay ko ka appeal kay namo ko mo diri sa Lisay ba niya. Na busy lang kayo niya. Mo plug na sa atong kuan. Upcoming na documentary namin ginaplano nga mabuhatan na to ang Cebu scene nga documentaries. Sugod gyud sa sugod. Bali ato among buhaton nila Maricar, nila Gray, si Joey, basta daghan. Nya ato ning buhaton as per episode ba. Si sugod gyud sa SRA or kung di man SRA basta ang punk and hardcore scene sa Cebu. Nag-start na po mag-interview. Actually, December, nag-start may surprise lang ko. Nakita mo din. Di-post din na mo. Sila ni Jude. Coming pa sila. Edwin, kung naminaw ka, bro. Bye. Ikay sunod. Nico. Nico, sunod. Mukontak namin ninyo niya. Mga ilas admin ninyo kanang time or kung naamoy ikapuno sa, for example, mga pictures, video, mga materials, mas maayo para manindot na to ang atong documentary ba. Ayun na kay karon ako lisod-lisod kayo nga mangita gyud og video nga sukad sa una kung naa. Kay Dale po dindot kito yung ipang post. Dale, ang mananghin ko nimo daan ako ba akong gipang save ba. Kay kinahanglan sa documentary. Mo-contact lang niya ako ninyo uban kinsay sunod na among panahon ng interview.
Katong mga dili pa namo dayon na kontak ayo lang kayo ta malain kay atong kita hinahinayan lang nato og kana.
Okay, murag taas na man gyud agi. Taas na man gyud agi yung send na gyud.
Pero wala na siya nga project Carlo like it's an hour nga documentary 2 hours.
No, it's just a short documentary.
40 minutes. Kaya normal lang ako, normal lang per episode. Good.
Unya, about lang Cebu Sino.
Para ato lang yun para at least man lang, ang purpose naman good naman, at least ang mga bag-upod or mga next generation na to, makabawas laon sa gikan good sa sugod ang atong scene direct, na para makabago sila, sa po'y nauna or kanang giunsa pagsugod. Actually, na-explain masad po ni Jude pag interview naman niya. Naman to na-appeal kung ano sa po sila sugod sa una. Nanindot kayo. Ato lang yung supportan.
Yes. Ang name di ay sa atong among production is rewind, fast forward. So that means we are trying to rewind right now, but after na ma-rewind, we're also going to do the fast forward. So hopefully present ng mga bag-usan ng mga bands, makavers at namin for the documentary.
Tanan, basta tanan good. Walay makaikyas ani. Tanan good.
But this one, it's a very, maybe dili mi maka-promise nga fast kay siya because this is a project. So we are not funded by anyone. So we are just doing it for passion and love for the community, for the music.
Basta ato ani tanan.
Hey, yan. I think Boyet is back. So
si Boyet.
Continue. Welcome back, Boyet.
We'll just have him settled first.
Ayun, nakapart na.
Ganda t-shirt ni Boyet.
Oo nga, ganda ng t-shirt mo
Kasya sa akin yun, Boyet. Send ko sa'yo yung address Kapal no?
Bilang gatas ng...
Ano yan? Milk. Oh my gosh. Oh my God, kapibili ko lang din, Boyet.
Gatas ng pusa.
Ano ba yan? Naano tayo sa pet natin. Okay, so saan ba tayo nahang?
Doon sa ano ba yun?
Album? I think
Doon
album?
sa surprise reaction. Hindi parang hindi
surprise reaction, no.
anong ano ba yun? Something about you na
Something about you na hindi namin alam or
na
that will surprise us.
yan. Yung parang surprise us.
Akin,
Nasaan?
sexy ako. De, joke lang.
Sexy daw siya. Wala ba alam? Parang nakakalam naman.
Ako alam ko yun.
Hindi nyo alam.
Nakatira ako sa bahay niya 2 days.
Sarap doon nila.
Wala naman secret. Wala akong ano or...
Ito na lang. Ano bang
extraordinary.
Okay, ito na lang, Boyet. Kasi you look so young. Ayan. Ano bang secret natin dyan?
Hindi, ano lang yun. Baka dahil lang sa shape ng face ko kaya mukhang young, pero alam mo yun. Yun lang yun. Pero wala
Yun
naman
yung Boyet talaga eh.
Napaka-humble eh.
Boyet na Boyet yan.
Wala naman talagang secret eh. Wala kasi lahat. Although hindi ako nagsusmoke, hindi ako nagdidrink ng alcohol. Ayun lang.
Okay, yun pala. Sekreto dahil. So, hindi tayo mag-drink.
Boyet, may kasama ka ba dyan? Kasi nagmamask ka pa eh.
Hindi, wala. Gusto ko lang yung amoy ng mask eh.
Inaamoy mo ang sarili mo.
Ayun, papakita natin yan. Ayan si Boyet.
Wala naman. Eh, tinanong ko, yung shield ba pwede?
Yes. Yan, second question.
Second question kami ulit. Kasi kanina, kausap namin si Jai ng Reconstrux booking tsaka ng Overthrown. Tapos, meron kasi siyang nabanggit about yung ang mga ginagawa niya is doing it for the kids. Now, may follow-up question kami doon. Are you still as pumped up with punk or are you at your age? Hindi pala. Are you pumped up with punk at your age or
has burned out? Burned up or caught up. Yan.
Ulit. Ano, hindi ko
So, pump up ka pa ba ngayon at your age or burned out ka na?
I mean, there's a certain point na parang ganun yung feeling mo. Kasi matagal-tagal na din, di ba?
Pero kasi ang passion ko talaga is to create music. Ayun eh. So, parang tingin ko, hindi naman ako mag-stop or parang yun nga, to create parang ganon. Since yung music kasi is parang under yung genre na punk or hardcore, so hindi ko nakikita sa sarili ko na magsa-stop parang ganon. Siguro gusto ko rin na perform yung music namin ganon. So, parang hindi ko rin naman nakikitang stop. Kasi parang talagang, yung love ko yung passion ko eh. So,
walang pagsasawa talaga, Boyet.
So, very pumped up pa. Parang teenager
like even your old songs, you can still play it like the same.
Tsaka, gusto ko rin yung feeling na, na kahit papaano yung nakaka-reach out sa isang tao and parang nakakatulong din sa ibang tao para para ba sa sa music scene para tuloy ba parang ganoon.
Okay. Yan.
Okay, so maganda kasi pump up ka. Tapos hindi ka pa burn out. So ito, regarding kasi sabi nyo, kahit hindi na kayo masyadong super sa banda, pero you're still trying to help sa charity side.
Charity or tapos
pag-organize. So, ano ba, for the next few years, gano'n na ba yung tema ng grupo? Yung parang more on the charity or yung helping part and then, or 50-50, banda, tapos helping?
Kasi sa akin, personally, wala naman, there's nothing wrong with yun eh, yung parang charity and music, di ba? Kasi it brings people together, ganon. Tapos, basta para sa akin, ano lang, DIY lang. Yung talagang para bang mas, parang mas masaya. Mas,
Fulfilling.
mas fulfilling. It brings people together, ganon. Ayun, yun lang.
Yan. Ako, may question ako. Sa experience mo, Boyet, syempre, we look after you, di ba? Inspiration ka kasi sa amin. So, for the longest time, hindi ko naman sinasabi na ang tagal mo na sa scene. But, ano bang feeling of all the albums that you've made? And then, yung experience na-experience mo before when you're younger, the touring stuff, the music, ano bang, and like now, how will you evaluate? Like, is it like, yes, it's worth it, and then I'm still gonna do it if I have the strength. Parang ganun.
Anong feelings ko about yung past scene and today?
Yeah, like yung parang yung journey mo from the start here sa scene.
Ano yun? Actually, syempre may mga things din na parang feeling ko hindi ko pa na-accomplish. Siguro as a member of the music scene, parang ganon. Kasi like ngayon may bago pa akong mag-dance, and yung although yung dati kasi parang feeling ko that we could have done more yung sa Betrayed.
Yeah.
Tapos na albums, kaya lang kasi may mga nangyari like si Buddy biglang nagpunta na sa States, na-stop kami. Tapos ibang members ko like dati si Papa Dom, si Dominic Gamboa, kinora yung tropical depression, so na-stop, parang gano'n. So yun parang nakakakant lang dahil dapat nakagawa pa kaming ibang album. So pero ngayon kahit papaano natuloy na namin ulit, di ba?
Yes.
Ulit kami bago, and yun, continuous pa rin yung paggawa namin ng songs, parang gano'n. Ayun, so, and yun nga, kasi dati masaya talaga yung tinutugtog namin yung Katrinas. So, mas marami kaming places na tugtugan, pero yun talaga yung para sa akin, yung parang pinaka-dating time ni Mecca of yung punk scene parang yun. Kasi doon talaga lahat nag-start Nung bata ako parang ganun. Pero bata pa rin naman ako.
Yes, of course.
Yung experience na parang very at home. Kasi may mga ganun may mga places tayo like sa amin, like nung mag-start pa kami, may mga venue na talagang feeling mo hindi mo makakalimutan. Like ako, I started with Nancy's Bayanihan dati yun yung pinaka first gig ko with SRA. So yun is sobrang liit ng space pero sobrang daming tao, tapos akala mo baka mahulog ka sa baba kasi umuano-ano na yung building. So pero sobrang ganda, parang kahit ngayon fresh pa rin sa utak mo.
Yeah.
Naalala mo pa rin yun. So yun.
Sa amin din, especially yung nag-play yung Betrayed sa SRA, yun, di ko makakalimutan yun. Yung lalo na yung part na nung tumutugtog kami, yung nagsising along yung crowd, tapos may isang punk, medyo bata pa, after isang song pumunta siya sa stage tapos sabi niya, dati pinapakinggan ko to, pinapakinggan ko to dahil sa kuya niya daw, mga tapes, pero ngayon nandito sila. Yung mga ganon.
Anong year yun?
Parang ano yata yun?
Yun dyan.
Parang
sa SRA dyan.
Parang 8 ata yun? 8 and counting? Hindi ko alam. Parang 8 and counting yun na
May poster pa ako nun ko lang matandaan yung yung year.
Tapos, may question pa ako. Kasi sobrang laki, sobrang lawak ng eksena sa Manila eh. Kasi malalayo eh. So, ano sana yung ultimate wish mo sa eksena nyo?
Sa amin?
Yes, sa Luzon area. Kasi sobrang lawak eh. So, yung parang general wish mo na lang for all of you guys.
Kasi naman wish, parang lang, like, what you look forward to that you want to achieve.
Sa akin, sana tuloy-tuloy lang. Tuloy-tuloy lang. Tapos, yun din, yung mga banda, mag-create din. Tapos, siguro pinaka-wish ko, sana yung mga bands to be, siguro, to be, kung kaya, kung more original na. Yan. Yung tugtugan ba, parang gano'n. Yung para bang panarinig mo, parang yung hindi mo pa siya talaga narinig kahit saan. Pero ang genre pa rin niya, punk, hardcore.
Mahirap yan!
kasi yun yung actually yung punk, yun yung pinakamalawak na genre eh. Meaning, siya yung kasi ang daming punk bands, pero let's say, mga imported, pero hindi naman sila, maraming magkakaibang sound, di ba? Pero under punk pa rin sila, di ba? Yung tipong gano'n, yung pag kunyari narinig mo, parang, uy, gano'n na. Ayun, gano'n. Hindi katulad ng pag narinig mo, parang gano'n lang din sa ibang band. Parang gano'n. Yun lang yung wish ko, sana mas maging creative. Mas malawak ba?
Yeah, in relation to that, Boyet, may follow-up question ako dyan. So, syempre ngayon with yung mga naririnig ko sa mga matured, yung mga ahead sa amin sa scene. So they said sometimes may mental block na parang narinig ko na lahat yung tune, parang hindi na ako makagawa ng bagong composition. Parang every time you make a tune para sa new song, parang sabi mo parang narinig ko na to and I don't want to use this. Parang ganun. So especially now na parang digital na lahat, ano ba ang take mo doon? Tsaka anong advice mo? Kasi syempre, ang daming nagme-mental block ngayon because how easy and seamless the music. Before kasi parang we are so excited kasi limited yung access. Ngayon it's so parang it's just there, and then does it matter? Does it still make an impact? Parang ganun.
Sa creative.
Para sa akin kasi, okay, kung ganun talaga yung sound nyo, okay lang naman, di ba? I mean, kasi may mga bands naman sa States, ganun talaga yung sound nila, hanggang ngayon, ganun pa din eh. Pero somehow, parang, siguro, pwedeng creative sa writing, di ba? Lyrics, pagkawa na lyrics, parang ganun. Ayun, or kunyari,
may point ka ba na naging ganun ka din? Parang may mental blockage ka din when it comes to making art?
Nangyayari naman
touch.
Kayo ni
nangyayari naman yan eh. Nangyayari naman yan sa lahat eh. So, like ngayon, may mga gawang songs sa ganitong band, tapos biglang ngayon parang meron ako naisip na songs pero hindi bagay dun sa band ngayon. Hindi ako makaisip para sa band na yun. Parang gano'n. Nangyayari yan eh. Minsan totally, dahil siguro bigla ako nahilig sa Netflix. or kahit anong ibang hobbies. So, nawawala yung mind ko sa music. So, nangyayari din, di ba? Minsan, meron lang naman pang trigger sa'yo eh. Para, kunyari, may marinig ka, let's say, new band, tapos parang magalingan ka, tapos parang maano ka ulit, ma-inspire ka ulit to create naman. Parang ganun ba? Iba-iba din kasi. Tapos yun nga, yung digital ngayon, honestly, madali nang gumawa ng music ngayon eh. Dahil nga digital, di ba?
Yeah.
So,
Kaso?
Compared nung araw eh, di ba? Analog, ang hirap mag-recording. Ngayon, digital, may konting mali, madali nang ayusin eh, di ba?
Ayusin.
So, pero ano pa rin naman, okay lang din naman yun. Basta, ikaw pa rin yun, touch mo din yun, and sa ano mo, parang creation mo pa din yun, di ba? So, okay. Parang, well, ngayon at least, hindi na wala na masyadong hindrance ba sa pag-create, parang ganun. Ngayon, siguro
Okay.
baka kailangan lang din siguro makinig pa, ewan ko, try mo lang yung, yung
Hawakan yung
taste mo sa music. Kasi ako,
Yeah.
honestly, ako, sobra kong hilig sa mga jazz guitarist. So, somehow, yung mga, pag napapakinggan ko, minsan na-apply ko din sa ibang music, parang ganun. Ayun.
Thank you so much.
May follow-up question si Maricar.
Parang ang dami naming nalalaman. I mean, nakukuha sa iyo ngayon. Kasi iba-iba yung actually yung mga guests namin. We're so happy kasi iba-iba yung parang iba-iba yung napag-uusapan, no? So, yung sa akin naman, since sobrang tagal mo na rin sa eksena, ano ba yung bago lang? ano ba yung ma-impart mo for us?
Yes.
For everybody, like
Sa Pilipinas.
Yeah, from Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao.
Ano bang kailangan nating gawin
or-
para maging...
Or especially sa mga bago rin gustong pumasok sa eksena.
Yes. Ano mga problema nakikita mo? Tsaka what's the solution?
Basta kunyari, let's say, tapos na yung problem ng mundo regarding yun sa COVID. Kunyari, let's say, okay na lahat, no? Basta dito, maging honest lang tayo sa ginagawa natin, music, and kung kaya natin do it yourself lang para mas fulfilling nga. And karon ng peace.
Yes, peace in the world. Actually, Boyet, I have to tell you this. We really look up to you. Kasi when I was there, yung inintroduce ka sa akin ni Wigner, sabi ko, these are the people na making a difference sa Manila na scene. Kasi syempre, di ba, hindi naman malaki yung binabayad sa'yo. Most of the time, lugi pa nga, di ba? So as an organizer ourselves, we really like to, parang katulad ni Boyet na, may maganda siyang amplifier, andun na lahat. We don't have that right now, but it's an inspiration what you do. So we will do our best na we'll find a funds
Inspiration,
parang to get that. Kasi it's just easier when you have your own instrument. You don't have to rely on the third party kasi mahal din, di ba? And syempre, kung ano yung mga invites ng Manila touring bands, we also like to have them here. Pero I know it's not always possible because of they have to travel an hour from here. But we look forward to more touring bands sa Luzon para even if they don't play here, we can just go there for an hour. And then, di ba, kami na lang maglilipad dyan. Tapos, siyempre, ililibre naman tayo ni Boyet sa bahay.
Ay, alam mo yun yung gusto ko kay Boyet. Sobrang,
Nahihiya kami sa'yo, Boyet.
Sobrang,
libre ko kayo,
kami siyang gaan ng loob mo.
Libre ko kayo mag-swimming.
Oy,
hindi kami naka-swimming pala kami. Wala kami swimming trunks nun.
Late, sa susunod.
Gardo naka-swimming, Gardo. Yung Gardo,
no?
naka-swimming.
We love it. Boyet, thank you for your time. We appreciate it. Dami namin natutunan. I think kasi si Doms, guitarist din yan eh. Doms, do you have any questions for our guests? Di ba, guitarist din. May mga secrets yan eh.
Yung mga nerd stuff, hindi. Yung sabi mo ng mga jazz guitarist, sinong mga pinakinggan mo na jazz guitarist? And sorry for my Tagalog, I'm not really.
Favorite ko si Pat Metheny.
Oh, yo! Hell yeah. Grabe.
Para sa akin, pinaka-miss mo yun.
Grabe. Pat Metheny, he seems to come a lot. His name comes a lot. Kanang, like, when you ask, like, guitarists or into jazz, like, Metheny is always one of those influences because he was so outside of the box, like, thinking, but the way he would move around his shapes and he would, like, add those notes na kanang you think wouldn't work, but somehow it makes it work. Crazy.
Siya talaga, basta siya na yun.
Ultimate guitar. Ultimate
Last
guitar god.
After Doms. Ano ba?
Yeah.
Sa kids mo ngayon, is there anyone sa kids mo na following your footsteps na gusto din nilang, they wanna play the scene? Parang ganon? Or they have a different...
Ha? Ano ulit?
Sa kids mo ngayon, sa daughter mo, is there anyone from your children na
Yung daughter,
wanted to follow your footsteps?
Yung pamangkin ko, si Kyle, di ba? Kabanda ko na siya.
Yes.
Yes!
Kyle.
Of course.
The nerd.
Pero
Kyle.
si Kyle, parang hindi na namin mo, kasi parang kabarkada mo na lang.
Oo nga. Yun, parang basically, parang anak ko na si Kyle eh. Yung anak siya ng sister ko. Pero mas madalas ko pa siyang kasama. Yun nga, pareho kami ng interest. Yun. So, yun.
My question to Wigner.
Si Kyle, guitarist din siya ng Goo, di ba? Si Kyle.
Oo nga.
Yes.
Nga, galing ni Kyle. Anyway, may question si Wigner. Boyet, kanino ka gumigising?
Nescafe.
Akala ko sa pusa mo.
Sabi mo kay Wigner, si Wigner nagturo sa akin nun, ang gugma ko, kanimo da.
Nako, patay tayo dyan.
Ayan.
May isa pa dito. Galing kay John Paul Bailoses. Salamat daw
John
sa
Paul.
mga
CDs.
by the grace of God. And also OS 101. Salamat daw.
Tagal na yun, Oo.
I'm just gonna read the comments kasi may comments for Sir Boyet. Betrayed Sir Boyet of the Tikbalang. Ito, from Joseph Kidet, si Tabak from Mindanao. Then from Jed, left-hander, betrayed. Of course. Tsaka ethnic faces din.
Ayun.
And then kanina, sabi ni Wigner, may kasama ka naman nasa likod.
Well, private.
Tsaka
And sabi ni Kenny, multitasking ka daw while you were driving, nag-multitasking.
Oo.
And then, teka. Yung mga fans ni Carlo Manucan, eto. Naputol yung signal niya eh. Hindi na siya nakabalik. There's one more.
For a friend daw. Sabi ni
How do you tame the tikbalang?
Ha?
How do you
tame the Tikbalang?
Sabi ni
Wigner.
Wigner.
Madali. Actually, di ba yung logo namin? Naalala niyo yung logo namin?
Oo.
Andun
T-shirt
yung
ako.
answer eh. Yun yung answer, how do you tame a
Oo
tikbalang?
nga, andun ang haba naman nun.
Di ba? Di ba? Yung nakaupo sa likod ng tikbalang, hinihila niya yung hair. Di ba? Yung logo namin. So yun eh. Pag nahila mo yung hair ng tikbalang, parang genie yun eh. Magiging master ka niya. Ikaw magiging master niya. Ayun.
Yan, alam mo na, Wigner.
Teka.
Wigner. Ayan, sino pa? Si Jed, Mike tanong.
Si Jed, I think shout out lang ito. Swerte na meet ko si Sir Boyet nung judge show.
Ayan.
And then I think the last one from Wigner,
Sa 1-3 block.
I think yung last one from Wigner, Boyet, white hair, don't care.
Right,
Hindi
right,
yan.
right.
Gray.
Gray yan, boy. Si
I stand corrected.
Si Richard Gere.
Richard Gere!
Yan.
Okay na from our side.
Natawagan ko si Wigner pag may problem ako sa Globe eh. Sa Globe ba siya?
Oo nga, tawagan mo. Walang tinatrabaho yan. Laging nasa lang yan. Laging relax.
Okay. So yeah, I think
For your time.
That's it.
I think that's it. We appreciate
Salamat for
Yeah.
celebrating with us.
Happy
before we go,
Thank you, Dan.
Teka, before we go, eto. This is how you tame the Tikbalang.
ano, di ba? Hindi siya yung hair.
Bala.
Hindi talaga tayo nag sa logo, no? Ganun pala.
Ganun.
Okay, ito pala. Ito. Yung head ito. Okay.
Oh yeah, that's some stuff. At least, alam natin.
Hoy, Wigner, may t-shirt ka niyan.
Alam natin yung t-shirt na sinusuot natin. Ganun pala yun. Thank you. See you
Thank you
around.
so much.
Dominic.
Thank you, Sir Boyet.
Say hi to the boys.
Yeah.
Happy
Pwede
New
na
Year.
ako offline.
Bye.
Okay na. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. See you
Take care.
soon. Bye-bye. Okay, bye.
See you soon.
Okay, tapos na si Boyet. What a nice chat. Ayan, we have a surprise.
Alright.
Wala
Here we go.
to.
Dito na.
Let's put it on. Bring it on, Doms.
Alright. Boom!
Oy!
Alright.
Oy! Sorry.
Oy.
Hello.
Hello.
Ay, wow.
Nadawag na ko?
Yes.
Oh.
Alright. Sir Edwin, thank you for waiting.
Okay ra. Amin ako na snack sa backstage.
Oh, ni-chat. Gay, ni-chat kayo ba? Ni-chat ba? Nakos green room. Wala, snacks dra.
Wig, snack, uy.
Wig na rin.
Wigner, naroon na siya.
Alright.
Yeah,
May shoutout tayo, no? Shoutout from Bye.
Bye, apil bye. Sigurahan ka.
Atong sendan link si Bye.
Dwayne, kamusta Texas, Dwayne? COVID din ha, Dwayne.
Mayaman, pero taas among COVID count, taas. Karon mo nang kuyaw ba?
Pero wala kay gawas, kamunikat.
Gawas gyapon, trabaho mo ko kawan.
So normal gapon mo work.
So,
barber. Mo gyapon, pero namin daga may extra precautions, magtupi ko, mag-mask niya ang clients na i-mask niya. Dili pasudlon kung dili ka magpatupi ka isa kuan lang ikaw ray musud kung kuan niya na temperature check og mag hand washing og kuan. Kasi kati po mo kon.
Oy, kung sa atong wakaila ha, Edwin Carso ni siya, taga Shrapnel, taga Cebu, karon na Texas, nanay barber na ni siya, from PT to barber na ni siya.
And then,
professional.
He's also behind Pomps na.
Siya also naka-inspired sa mga barber na mga talents diri sa Cebu.
Left of center po.
Left guys, sorry. Left of center.
Nianas Wigner, nga ko nang Bisaya day ba kuno ka? Bisaya day siya?
Ang karon ako makastorya og Bisaya na diri.
Makamingaw, no?
Oh.
Wait, sakto na sa English din.
Kasi nga, in English, Bisaya og gyapon.
Sige, Dwayne, kanang wala raman, kanang mangumusta lang minimo, kamusta imong career din ha? Nya, imong banda. Yes, kanang kita mi sa imong social media, sa imong band din ha. Nice get down.
So, unsay update na to diha?
Yun sa nimo pag-acquire sa imong banda na journey.
Kuan, kaning Liberty and Justice, ang singer na akong boss, si Ryan niya. Dugay may kailangan niya kasi sige mo deliver og pomada sa iya niya. Mo ta originally ang mga membro ni kay ang siya niya ang bass player sa Street Dogs, drummer sa Phoenix TX. Ang gitarista sa Roger Meret and Disasters. Yeah, nabisi man ang bass player si Johnny sa Street Dog. So, ako gikuha niya ang drummer gi-release dan sa kay busy sad. Timing lang nga ako nag-record sa tanan bass parts niya. Pero kompleto na ang mga kanta. So, mo the first time mo tukar. Napil lang ko sa kahig.
Grabe, apil sa kahig. Hindi, nagadadid ko.
Ganda, samo.
Si Bano talent ba ya?
Na-inspire ako ko. Baisa na ko kay inspire ko Wigner ba?
Ay, di nga best winner siya. Dili ko no pumada, pomade.
Pomade lang, tiguan na kayong pumada.
Gel na gel.
Tama may tukar karon dra Edwin. Sa may station din na sa scene niya, tukar-tukar naman. Anda naman yung pa din ha.
May kuan. Munay kanang like kay ang tanan mga metal, punk ug mga ingon nga tukar dili mi kanamo tukar pero ang mga country singers na mga country bands o rap sige sila tukar kay baka pamahala na ila. Yeah, mga country singers kaya di mo na nimo pwede makuan mabalibaran mo nang suko na sila. Pero ang mga punk ug kuan metal na rock and roll mo na sunod sa balaod. Yeah. Wala pamito tukar karon. Kuwat lang streaming. Pero kita ako na hinahinay mga inig summer nanay mga shows nga book. So hopefully sa inig dawat ng vaccine makatukar-tukar ginagmay.
Okay. So more or less nanay murag kanang nindot nga outlook few months from now for your scene.
Nag-vaccine na Edwin? Nag-vaccine na mo diha?
Wala pa, guwat pa ko. Kuan para sila ron mga tiguang og kuan og kanang healthcare workers.
So gawin na nila ang mga frontliners pa.
Frontliners. Yeah. Pero siguro mga by March mo. Pwede na go sa general public.
At least nanay ko nila ha. Nahayag-hayag nila future ato aday.
Dwayne, nasa may ka ng mga activities niyo karon nga since pandemic, like unsay take advantage niyo ba sa banda, like are you doing kanang recording kanang sa inyo lang i-compile niya i-connect ano ba?
Actually mas busy me karon nga dagamig na release karong kuan panahon na kay may buhaton so magay karon baguro gay mi nakasugod og practice balik ng banda kay siguro mga last month lang mi nagsugod practice balik after katong nag-lockdown mga March pero nakasuwat mi mga pila ka buok kanta pero kuan lang to sa unsa ni online lang ba ipasa-pasa lang ang files kuan busy gyapon dagamig release nga singles niya ang bago na mong album kuan mo next month hopefully next month kuan
so ma-share na din niyo share na ba niyo online wala pa
namin mga pinakaabukan na kuan na teasers niya pero i-release gid mga yung sila summer sa spring sa 2021 so mga basi February March ana. Depende rin na sa kuhan sa label.
Kasi si Bracky, same ba sila state ni Bracky?
Si Bracky ba? Same state?
California ang Bracky.
Ay, California.
Doon.
Texas o California. Sara kalapang. Kasi ba din? Malagdag ko. Sige.
Taas, kita bangon sa.
Okay. Next question si Wigner.
Dahil.
How do you see yourself 5 years from now?
What about job interview?
Without then, unsay kanang mga plano nimo ba after aning pandemic? Monoklar mo din siya hopefully, no? Kung sa pandemic, wala imong banda.
Na ba may plans? Na ba kay plans na, you know?
Mingaw ito ka. So, hopefully, baka ito ka promote ang album. So, basig makatukar may ka Europe. Yeah. Akong i-push nga karam tukar Asia.
Naabot na yung kalit.
Pilipinas ba? Pilipinas. Nindod. Kaya ang singer, ang among singer, si Ryan, yung misis ko man.
Nasibay.
So, grabe mo, ulit po.
Nasibay, Bye, Nuñez.
Joy, kakuyog mo na ako sa kuan. Hello, bye.
Bye.
Hello.
Nasa dali.
Edwin, idol.
Nasabay.
Kumusta? Okay ra dire. Tugnaw kayo. Nako si sa mga bata ba akong ipaduwa ang mga bata.
Unsa oras na daron?
Diri kuan alas 10 sa gabi.
Parehara.
Same sa kuan.
Parehara. Happy anniversary day sa SRA fighter.
Yes. Happy anniversary nato.
Nato. Happy anniversary.
Nagna-kadis layo.
Fighter, salamat apil di gyapon ko.
Connected ba diha ka? Hindi lang ta. Pandemic man.
Padayon pagpangutana ni Idol Edwin kay dugay
na naman dito sa line nato, may banda din na. May mga kalainan, banda din na, banda US sa Cebu ba?
Unsa?
Sa mga kalainan, like ikaw nakabanda na mo nga kanabang lain og standards ba? Na si Bay sa Hong Kong, si kalainan, si una si Edwin.
Edwin una, Edwin.
Kung ano man na, parehara man gyapon, practice niya. Kung masayop ka lang, tanaw sa iyo. Yeah.
Taas ki standard na din tayo.
Oh.
Oh, yeah, this is my show, right? Yeah,
Quiet. Somebody is talking. It's okay. I will talk to you later, okay? Papa's busy. Wait, duha na yung bata. Padayon, sorry dun.
Okay. Mato, kuan parehara pero ang kapoy lang ka nang inigtukar niyo magkamay bitbit sa yung gamit. Ya, bugat kayo ba? Ya, kamo sa paghipo sila gumanito kar. Ano ko na, tiguan na ba ita? So, kapoy ang akong sulguan mga bata-bata kuan. Mga bata na
Nakay-kuyog din, diha?
Ha?
Nakay mga batot.
Amigo nga ko yung tanda. Suguon na yung bit gamit yung
Dire. Kita ang gihapon ng hipos.
Ha?
Kita tapos batanon ko ng kato.
Batanon.
Pero the gore naman medyo lahi na.
Nagungguan nga ta. Sakit na.
Sa una kami mag-practice kung nay masayo si Edwin ang masukto. Karon siya ni kasaban.
Ari sa tani bay. So
sige ikaw bay sa may kontra sa standards din.
Standard sa pag-start nimo sa mga banda diha.
Ako diri kay wa mo koy plano unta magbanda. Kay ni biya naman tag yung banda ana gani ko magda-gitara diri pag garga sa akong baligyan ako tanan gamit. Pero naswertian lang gyud ko kanang naagian ko sa musikero ba.
An hour.
Ragod ko sa gawa sa 7-Eleven. Ya nay usa ka musikero ni Agi Bisaya. Unya kato siya di ay nakatukar di ay sila og SRA sa una. Kanang ang banda niya kay Morning Star. Ambot na kanumdum ba ba na? Morning Star ang banda siya.
Na sa kuan mga poster.
Niana sila. Kanang bay ambassadors kana namoy tukar diri sa Hong Kong. Walay balhin ako diri na ko'y pamilya. Moto niana siya nga wata ko ining human aning kaning set na ko sa kauras kung napa ko dia balikon diga. Gibalik gyud niya. Ya istorya mig maayo. Unya basta ang ending swerte kay gitagaan ko niya gitara balik niya na siya ayog undang na ko'y gitara sa balay. Sus nabalik gyud ang banda gitagaan ko niya electric guitar niya. Bahista man siya. Nya sige mig ganang communicate niya. Antod nakakita mig drummer nga Bisaya pod. So nakabanda mi 3 piece. Tulo na mi ako naway. Salamat Ginoo sad kay wa sa gumagay. Naagya po ng music kay mao joy maka ambot makapa-relax na ako kay sa ka-stress sa kinabuhi ba. Grabe sad ang
ilalim
trabaho ko diri kuan kanang bartender man ko diri bartender niya. Grabe ang kasigit, grabe jud kayo ang basta di na ko karon pa ko ka experience ani pero okay ra kay para makakapon sa gaba sa kinabuhi.
Dita.
Inaani din.
Jud ang magtrabaho sa gawa.
That's one reason or I mean that's one lesson for people ba na naadli sa Pilipinas, nagkikitanan mga tao sa mga abroad.
Kaya kinabuhi.
Kaya permi ang kinabuhi mo. So anywhere, natin struggle, mga Pilipinas, US, Hong Kong, UK. So I think mo sa na atong dapat lesson ay hatag sa mga mas bata pa na to.
Bitaw. Then, nasa may mga advice mo sa diba na naman din mo dugay naman din ka dira sa Texas, diba, tagod na po sa Hong Kong. In comparison ba sa to ang scene, say, pwede na to ma-improve, pwede na to mga attitude para magpadayon di ako ng mga itong itina.
Kuan, I guess, pareha naman ang kuan, ang feeling nga inigtukar o ang scene diri o sa diha sa Pilipinas. Kuan lang to, mas daghan lagi banda diri. Pero, ayun, akong advice kay siguro mas tungod gamay man ang kami diri gamay ang scene dili may usually mo tukar sa isa lang ka lugar every week or every month. Mo venture out with kuan laing nga lugar. Maski sa Texas lang, dako mo Texas. Mo to Dallas, mo to Austin o San Antonio.
California din?
Ha?
California? Tukar na mo dito?
California wala this 2020 unta manukar ta mi dito.
Sus, ang Pinoy dito din.
Oo. Kuha nami tukar mig festival unta ya.
Nice.
Madayon. Yeah. Pero sa East Coast nakatukar mig East Coast. Yeah. Pero mana siguro mo venture ako advice kay venture out kana mga local banda sa Cebu kana mo gawas pod mo kay di lang ka manukar mo para sa inyong crowd, tukar mo lain lugar mo. Di ba? Maski kuan, maski Cebu, ato ko kuan. May mga scenes sa South.
Mao yun akong gi-push din kay kanang since kailan na magdita nila Jai taga Singapore, so akong gi-push sila Jude na rin Singapore ha. So, like, kami na lang, sa una katumapa si Jan sa Singapore, kamay na lang yung kuwang, mapurma na yun, pwede na yun sila kutukar, di ba? So, pero sila Jai, willing kayo sila kung may, like kanang life center, ang Shrapnel, yung mga ambassadors na willing nga mo adto ba, di mo lang para kuan kanang just to spread ba nga, uy, naman po mga maayod na banda sa Pilipinas. Hindi kay sana niya, ako gina-push sila ba nga, kanang aim for it, kay, di ba, marag, back-please sabihan na siya. You don't have to visit that, pero it's something.
Sa mas kuan mas ang feeling fulfilled mo ato kag lain lugar nga na yung mga tao nga kibaw sa lyrics yung kanta yung mas spread mo spread lang yung kuan yung message niyo manang dili mo kailangan mo stay sa lugar firme. Spread out. Mas kuan maski mix genres ka dili kailangan punk kami nukar mi kuan katukar mi na rap. Yan, basta kuha lang, i-spread lang ang music nga. Namin na maging makakuha nga, makaganahan sa ito.
I think explore lang po, no? Kasi ka na more on the comfort zone na ka. Murag mistake na taanan, feeling so, mama na siya. So, what's room for improvement? So, matindot siguro nga. Sakto sa na mo nga, kuhaan ka, mo get out of your own shell. Ano sa tani bay? Sa may yung point of view na bay?
Nasa ko pang tanong Edwin. Duha banda ni Edwin din, no?
Kuan karon isa na lang po ko kuan ni quit na ko sa uban. Liberty and Justice sa ko ron.
Fighter nindot to. Grabe to inyong mga original inyong mga live shows ba? Fighter kay kalista magsi kayo. Padayon oy.
Salamat.
Ganan sige silang arrest. Knowing ba na
Hello everybody. Check out my YouTube channel.
Okay, hi daw siya. Sorry. Okay, Enzo.
YouTube channel in the comments.
YouTube.
Din, ganan sige mo rin mong banda din. Nasa sila ganang interest ba?
Oo, ako sa istoryahan sa calling kuan niya. Excited talaga na sila motokar. Si kuan diha Pilipinas, Cebu, ug kuan Manila na. O ganawa ato Indonesia. Dako mas lagsin.
Oo, baka kayong ganun siya.
Oo.
Hindi sa gitna pa naman.
Pero ako main yun makaulig Cebu niya. Tokar ginagmay.
Bitaw.
Nya, ano sa tani bay? Bay kamo bay. Unsa naba imong maka puro Bisaya. Naba sa may plano nga mga in the 2 years nga okay na ta, wala pandemic. Makatukar sad mo siguro sa anniversary nato.
Oo, sus. Induta siguro makatukar mi. Kanang dili ambassador sa kaning Bulletproof ba para makasuway sad mi og SRA ba. Okay. Mingaw na sad kay mi og kung puhon God willing kung okay na niyang pandemic. Magkita ra ta balik tanan niya.
Bitaw.
Mag-enjoy ta kay ang kinabuhi di ginato may ibawan para sa atawaan. Pero importante lang malipay lang ta sa unsay gihatag nato niya karon adjust ta sa kaning pandemic. Matod pa ni Jude. Sakto gitong giingon ni Jude. Stay positive. Yeah. Find alternatives. Survive ra gyapon ta ani. Salig lang ta sa taas.
Thank you kay Kai.
Din kanang
salamat sad.
Kanang sa namabot ng dinada din kanang magtuko na barber. No, be ganay.
Bantuwa ko
Kanang gadon ginato diri ba kay diri biya gigikan.
Kani ko no, pomada, tiguang na ko no.
Wagner, idol, Wagner.
Nakikipangutan si Wagner do. Oh.
Unsa man? 6 flags ahead. Mo na kuan. Kanang una kong banda niya na kasud mig SRA sa una niya murag mig makuyawan kay bata pa kay niya new school kayo tong panahon na ang among tirada ba so murag di ba mining pero believe gyud kay mi sa kanang mga kuya na to mga titos na to sa SRA kay gisuportahan gi-accept gyapon nila among music adtong panahon na medyo pop or pop punk sabi na diha new school ra kayo pero gi-encourage gyud mi nila hantod na influence noon gyud mi og kanang mga katong mga punk nga karaan ba roots so dako gyud mi respeto sa tong mga nauna nato nga mga
lagi sa man Edwin
mga tiguang.
I think nothing wrong with starting something from for example like pop basta ang sakto tong gingon sa Edwin ba nga dili lang jud ka mistake ana or sakto tong gingon ni Boyet na mo explore sa jud ka og lain nga kanang genre ba or anything nga beyond malawak
bitaw.
Na dili lang jud ka mistake diba kay diha man ka mo grow
basta importante sa jud ganahan sa jud ka adtong nga genre dili na moapil lang kagalit adtong nga genre niya di ka ganahan di ba kay para
lang main
gid kay ako maminaw gani ko og hip hop kuan bahala unsay sulti sa uban pero mo appreciate ko sa ubang hip hop nga ban
ako kay bilayin ko karon bilayin ni
diba
Pugong si Dad. May question si Wigner. Ano din siya gisulti buong.
Switch stance. Murag apil mo ko ana.
Di ba? Kisa tayo.
Taman siguro na.
Oo. Kalimut ako.
Kani guys. Kapedro ko no.
Ano ba? Wala yung storya.
Unsa na man lam na magani.
Germs in your mouth naman ni Padong.
Kay ka Pedro nga storya with naman katong ni apil may contest niya. I-interview Miss Kuan. Asa to? DYRT ba to? Anya pagkuhan mi ka nami shout out nga si Wigner pinakusog nga kuhan. Pinakakusog nga ni Shaggy to keep rocking. Muna yung kapidlo.
Mo.
Nag-check ako sa comments guys kay na yung mga mag-shoutout or like kanang pareha ni Jed ay si Jed. Sir Edwin Carson, Pomps not dead. Alright.
Yes, sir. Businessman fighter kaya.
Ay si Con, si JP, na-message si JP. Edwin, please to car acoustic gig dira karon, skate tabalik.
Ha?
Si JP ba si JP?
Di mo okay ba gitara na?
Kinsa pa nga dire.
Isa ba?
Si Con, kinsam ni? Space Team, Kuya Bay. Si Precious Majun. Shout out to Space Team, Kuya Bay.
Oy, taga Hong Kong na, Precious.
Oh, hi Precious.
Hong Kong na siya na mga amiga. Yes, Enzo, what is it?
Oh. Nasa ni shout out ni Wigner, buang daw si Wigner. Familiar na siya, pero familiar na siya. Buang ko ng Wigner. Yeah, request daw si Ann, si Mrs. Nuñez na patukar ako ng si Bike na gitara.
Binuang na ay. Katugnaw kay galisod na gani ko diri.
Ay, may gitara diri ko no. Ay. Mo na gini gyud.
Kurog-kurog na gani ko diri.
Ayaw lang daw to kayo, Bike kay kasaban na ka Edwin, masayop ka.
Pero kanang proud kay ko nga nakabanda rin ako sa Edwin de.
Kisa uban member nato dito.
Si Jeros man siguro may drummer na to, di ba?
Mga gahi, may line up pa grabe.
Sino kay singer sino singer nato si Gerald? Gerald ba tayo singer na to? So, Mike?
Nagajod ko gitara diri.
Ay.
Oh, sige, bebe.
Ay.
Bitaw, sample.
Gi, tara. Ay, mo na rin.
Oh, di ka ba? Ginago.
Gitono lang na sa anak.
I'm not gonna play it, so it's very cold.
Yay!
Okay, right. Di, ang akong reason nga ni chat ko ni Bahay kay murag ni sige ba sa comment sa stream niya. Sige siya pangumusta ni Edwin ba ko kumusta na si Edwin sa actual. Magshay-shay ba? Magshay-shay magud.
Skate niya tagbalik Edwin. Nipalit ra ba og skateboard? Balik iguang
Mabalik niya ang skateboard.
Ay, bali good. Kuya okay ka mo skate na. Ako gay diri bahala nagdili na ko kibaw mo tricks. Balik og skate.
Mo ba?
Ben, tukar ko si Bay, ito ko na patupi, di ba?
Unsa?
Si Bay tukar.
Tupihan na ba? Dot kay tupi.
Na may question, unsaon nimo pagtupi ang buhok ni Wigner? Kay challenging man na yung buhok.
Mohawk na yung tupi.
Taas na yung buhok na kanang musukon.
Kata nagkanang sa ni. Kata nagpina-fade ba? Pinahinapay sa kilid.
Ayay, nanaday something to look forward ninyo.
Yeah, excited na mi sa imong barbershop diri na mo.
Tingnan mag-abli rin ko.
City ko na ignore eh.
Kabaw baka magpatupi 50 pesos dito ra gyapon at bang sa buysay. Iraan na kayo. Puro gyapon ang tupi.
Si Charles bagi guess dan ni istorya na naputol ko kano kadjud ganin na good.
Closing remarks ko na siya.
Closing remarks ko siya kanang kung si Jude may ko ay katong sa opening remarks ka katong closing. Okay, lang surprise.
Okay, hindi ko sila na last.
Ay, tira. Fighter sa na Charles kay storya share lang ko ba? Kay kanang dili ko ma-introduce og SRA kung wala ko makailan ni Charles ka lang.
Oy, same ta. Wala sad ko.
Tungod.
Dili ka kuan sa SRA kung wala si Charles. Nakita mi ni Charles Blan pa yang buhok. Nakuyawan ko kung makig-meet up ba ko niya o dili kay murag nag-addict na mga anak. Kato ka na ko dito sa baya. Meet up pa baya to. Kan baya to? MIRC.
Oh, wala pa ko.
Good mo pa ng panahon na. Kami nag-abot mi sa kuan ni Charles sa baseline day. Baseline din ba sa spot sa skateboard sa una. Baseline.
Kami kasi kuya kami day sa Metro mi.
Ito baseline lami ito low mi dito.
Noon sana ka to baseline mo pwede skate dito.
Guys, si Wigner i-pressure daw to Wigner ma-appeal ko no, gi-request yung mga tao.
Oh, papel Wigner.
Ako siyang gisenda ng link, i-pressure si Wigner na masunod ka ng wala, di ko na siya.
Atiya.
Dito, ikuha na si ipasod si Wigner. Ilis din ako sab na si Wigner. Substitution. Sod na din si Wigner.
Si Wigner ay nasa silong. Hindi ka ng kabuang, hindi chat-chat dito.
Di ko na si Wigner ko no, kaya nauwaw ko na Wigner ko no, naghukas ko na siya.
Hindi ka tawag doon, hindi ka ng komento yan. Kasi comment lang ko
Nami picture ito nukar may Luzon yan. Nag-picture Wigner gahukas. Ako ito i-release.
Ito, mga outfit ba? Kaya ka nang kakita.
Ay, Edwin ka to. Nilasis na si Carlo siguro.
Ako yatang ni Carlo.
Sa documentary.
Last band, gihapon, mas kilay.
Ataya na.
Hindi ko, let's go gihapon.
Grabe. Sige, unsa may closing remarks ano?
Bitaw, salamat kay Kai. Salamat kay Edwin. Bitaw. Happy anniversary.
Salamat. Anniversary nato.
Happy anniversary nato tanan.
Connected na
Hopefully by next year makatukar tarong.
Yes.
Bye, tukar mo din rin. Sa inyong banda. Ikaw sa Edwin. Hopefully, humanta rin po.
2022, so that's 222.
Yes.
Pwede kayo. Ininga. Kumana ni tanan. Sige.
Okay.
Bye-bye na.
Okay, bye.
Thank you guys. Salamat.
Amping. Salamat sa amping.
Bye.
Sige, bye.
Amping.
Edwin, amping dia Edwin. Idol.
Kamupon.
Basin maghuman mo sa lain nga chat ba? Mapadayon mo sa
Time sa nangita pag unsaon ni pagkuan. Adara.
Ako rin bala. Sige, bye guys. Salamat. Alright. Okay. Hello? Kick from studio. Hello. Nakamute mo. Gray, nakamute mo. Nakamute mo.
Hindi pa dyan daw yun.
Hoy, mo na alas 10 na guys, 10:30. Mo na ni ang time nga manukar ang mga bigatin. So, mo na yung time nga magbakairi na sila.
Uy, guys, si Tawi day atong pasalamatan siyang time murag ni una na siya kay wala toy tulog.
Thank you, Tawi.
Thank you kay Tawi.
Thank you.
Sa support.
Guys, kinsay next guest kay while nagwait ta sa next guest kay naay patukar si
Patukar na ta kay
May patukar si JP. Ni-request ko dyan ni.
Okay.
Sige.
Para shout out daw ni sa ato ang very own Gray. Shout out ko ni sa atong very own Gray.
My name is JP.
Kuya kay JP.
Kuya, JP, wait. Maghipos na ko nas gamit. Yes, ang next game na to
is random call.
Pero wait. Ika-share nimo sa screen kay dapat i-on ang katong share audio ha para madungog ba. Na-check box na share audio ni-click na niya. Hello si Ayban.
Ang mutubag sa random call kay naay vinyl.
Si Ayban kay naa siya sa pero wala siya video ban. Hello?
Isa na si JP aka Mike Park aka ding atay.
Okay kam.
Alright.
Hi Ban.
Ayban, what's up?
Hello. Iba naman to Vans nga store sa Ayala sa una. Kinumdum jud ko ato.
Ay mo na pa rin kanang radio sa taxi ba? Di ba nang taban sa una?
Unsa nga year ka?
Wala pa ko ato dire car. Taga Mindanao pa ko ato.
Wala jud, wala pa sa Yala sa una. 1999, 2000.
Pero pag anhina ko ato basta kanang mo bakasyon ko ato rin na to siya nga store kanang Marks and Spencer sa una.
Wala pa sa mga panahon atong mga 1999, siguro mga more or less 2002, 2004 nga na siguro pwede.
Murag dili kay high school pa mong ko ato. Na to Vans nga store.
Bali
Ayala.
ako elementary pag yung kuban. So hindi ba di ko ka-relate.
Wala.
Ako hilom.
Siya nga store.
I like tingog da.
Sige ba may tambay sa kuan Ayala sa una kay napabito inyo 7 ato ba may magtambayan sa una kay si Jeros og si Janipang kuan pa ba DJ
kinsay nakakita nga sa Ayala sa una kanang basta night to car sa artist days nya mga to dayon sa Ayala to dayon sa inyo magtambay-tambay nya sa ubos kay naman ay food court sa ubos nya basta ato sa food court yung mga high school may mga kwarta yan ay mga manguha og pagkaon sa laing tao
dili jud manguha dai sobra jud
like sobra kanon tayo pass kayo
Ganahan nanta ko i-add si Johan ug si Jesse ana.
Ila edad ni mo ana iba
ba ako nanguha ka guyong sa laing tao
Why?
Ayban
Ha?
ila edad ni mo karon
31.
difference
ayog ko ano yung mo si
Guys, nani-dispute ninyo. Late 90s, Nanay Van Store sa Ayala.
Yes. Nanay Van Store sa Ayala.
Si Wigner kay sa Robinson's Fuente, una nagawas ang van sa Cebu.
Ako nakaadto ko sa Van Store sa Ayala. Makahinumdum pa jud ko sa ilahang design ug ang color sa ilang store. Ito mang ilahang store.
Jude to Robinson sa una.
Pero dili lagi kompleto lagi ilahang kuan. Ilang
ang ilahang baligya ato is nakahinumdum ko kay ambot lang kaila ba mo ni kuan ni RV ba? RV Kamaso ba?
Wala. 31 ka.
Dugay na si RV sad sa nakaanha sa siya sa SRA. Nakapalit mi og wallet dito sa una. Vans. Basta mga high school siguro ka to.
High school ka best college
sa una maka-afford ko Vans karon di na ko afford og Vans.
Oy day, kababa ka nga akong first nga sapatos kay Converse nga high cut.
Di na ko ka-afford og Vans.
Kababa ka Converse nga original nga high cut sa una kay tag 650 ra dito ko napalit.
1 star car, 1 star, 450.
Yan nakakuan pa jud, kana galing dili siya katong karon kay muram siya sticker na lang. Kana ba yung stitch ba? Kanang kuan jud siya. Ano sa gi embroider.
Basta na Evans wig. I-explore ato na i-explore.
Ay kana Evans, kita sa kuan na.
Istorya ko na yung history sa Evans.
Uy, pampihi ba yan ang Evans sa una? Wala pa na uso.
Uy, mo na ang Evans sa una, mo na ang Skechers karon nga humo kay tanan.
Yan na, ganahan. Pampihi na ako pag high school, elementary.
Kung karon ang mga tao mo pili og Nike kay humok kay tanan, mas humok ang Skechers. Mo na.
Barato kay Evans
Panggor.
Para na 200, 300 sa una, pero nindot ka na sa tiil.
Si Bakalan, next guest. Sigaw. Gaw.
Saan ang istorya ni Kenny?
Late 90s lagi, mga 99. Oh.
Si Kenny ang buto, so ka G. Kisa na, Kenny.
Heartthrob baya ni Sias Lagun. Katos Jesse. Si Jesse. I-guess to. Sigo, lagi si Jesse. Lagi, Heartthrob.
Sige ba yata, dito sila, pero yata doon ng kuan, doon ng mga guard kay sabi nila kuan.
Tabak ay. Hey, tabak. Taga Mindanao. Alright. Hi, Tabak.
Yay!
Hi, Tabak.
Jama in Mindanao.
Mindanao represent.
Happy anniversary back.
Tabak, di ka na madungog, Tabak. Balik daw. Hello.
Pero nga na mo headset ako kay kag headset.
I-switch daw imong
Wait,
audio
balik.
at bakit dili ka na madungog. Wait.
Oh,
At
nya sa
Bad.
gupuang tabak ko eh.
Kailan mo, Tabak, Danzo?
Wigner kay Crosby. Uy,
Dwayne, kung Grosby, kang Wigner Patos, kang GC, pag ila-ila na mo, ang iyang mga t-shirt, Grizzly.
Tabak, dili ka madunggan, Tabak.
Grizzly.
Galit na siya, iyang t-shirt, Grizzly. Asa ka na?
Ako, mahal ba yan na?
Kung bataw na Grizzly, good bataw yan.
Pero mahal ito.
Uy, ayaw kumbiyansa kay ni adventure na biya na sila sa skate scene kanang Grizzly nga ko gift tape.
Hoy, may tikid. May tikid.
Grabe ang Grizzly, oy, Jesse boy. Ipakita yung Grizzly nga mga shirts, mga compilation ni mo diha.
Ataka, niyo, grabe yun.
Style ang GC last year da.
Hello?
Tungkan mo nimo.
Alright!
Nice.
Hello. Yay!
Tabak, may pangutana din,
May
Tabak.
gabi.
May gabi.
Ngatag saging. Ngatag saging ninyo.
Baka may pangutan mo. Pila nakabok yung order nila, Jesse Burger.
Ha? Be,
Pila
back
na
question.
order
Pila ka
Jesse
book.
Burger.
Grabe ka pagutada.
Murang kag nas drive-thru ko call center.
Grabe na po na ka pagutada.
Wala tayo. Langawa, Tabak eh.
Di ba, na-shock lang ko ba kay... Wala, maulaw eh. Yung ko kaning inaanib yung interview. Pero si Doms yun, dahilan yun, yun. Papa Doms, thank you kayo. Ngawantag saging.
Kaya, Tabak, narakay title, Tabak. Narakay title.
Ala, grabe po naka-title.
Daghan na kayo banda. Di naman.
Ato na yun mga question, be. Tabak,
sige, sige.
First question. Kailan yun daw kabuk yung banda na matana si Wigner?
Banda yun. Kuhan, sa hardcore? Or
Di, bisagun ka.
Kuhan. Be, 1, 2. Grabe, hapon yun ba? 1, 2, 3. Be. Actually, nagyo ko yung gida lang nga banda.
Kanan.
Grabe, appeal po sa project.
Lagi!
Kaya,
Grabe, sabi na.
Tabak,
Kuhan.
order ko gusto ka cheeseburger o duha ka fries. Kanya, gusto ka tayo.
Grabe, mo na ano eh. Diba, siguro,
Tabaga.
Dili ko sure na sa mga... Dili lang ko sure gahag mo ulo man tayo. Nasa mga 707.
Grabe.
Pero kuha na ka ng ang akong purpose lang is tabang lang sa suporta diri among suporta lang mo sa eksena natin sa mga pag. But kuan mo kay usually manggod excuse sa mga manggod sa iligan drummer may problema pod kay naami is napoy problema napoy usually nga kanabitong dili sila mo trip og inani nga music. So
okay.
Ako sa akong part nakita nako nga kanina naslay kanang murag tabang lang po to. So mato siya nga kuan jud kanang yes, Wigner question. Kinsay mas dagang banda yun. Kami pagutana. Mas dagang banda si Master Inging. Uy, gabi. Idol kinako na. Idol kinako si Inging.
Kapon ba? Singing, lima ra siguro, maximum muha. Pero to, 17? Oh, 7 din.
Diloy, pito, Roy. Grabe po ng 17.
Diya na ka sa masto sa nano kanin.
Wala, murag. Enjoy lang. Enjoy lang ako ang ko.
Kisa may ka
Jed, ano ka, Jed? Ha?
May ka nang, kisa may sumusunod ni mo, may mga apprentice ba? Like, dapat na, mong talent, we're getting older, eh.
Lagi ba? Sa karon kuan, nagyo ko isa ka estudyante I mean, student na ko siya.
Kaya ta si
Nice.
Adili, Juan, share lang ako na bali. Na ako'y natudluan yun nga. Student na ako. Bali, ako siyang gi-introduce sa akong music eh. Sa kuan man gud sa iya gusto wala ko ka-expect nga gusto ko siyang mga fast music yun. First ang akong nadumduman sa iya ipadungog ko niya gud sa iyang ganahan murag Rise Against na ipandungog ko niya Rise Against. Wala ko kabalo sa title sa Rise Against pero na-shock lang ko kay mo iyang ganahan yung music speed. So, mo to siya ako na siya gina-share. Dayon,
Nice ba?
naay isa ka experience ko grabe mo to yung pinaka na-shock yun ako. Na after sa lesson, naman niya na recital. Every student mo perform sila sa ilang gusto nga songs. Wala ko expect nga ang iyang gusto nga tukaron is Come on Eileen by Save Ferris. Wala ko expect. Then proud to say siya akong gipa-drums karon sa
Bak, feeling ako, research ka nila. Yan mo na ilang research.
Grabe mo nag-research. Wala. Di, wag yung expect ato gray nga na ito mo. Ito yung music din. Kuan. Sa karon siya akong gipa-drums currently sa Scavenger. Diri sa
Scavenger.
Siya akong gipa-drums. Okay. Ako man to itik session na banda. So siya akong gipa-drums.
Sa inyong lugar, ikaw yung guy mong jeans. Na-question Wigner.
Bak.
Kung gamay ra imong banda, unsa kadaghan na?
Lipugoy. Libugan no. Nalibog ko gamay na.
Kaya tagpanguta na wig na.
Nalibog ko gamay wig.
Line panguta na si Jed.
Back question.
Nakakababanda kada syudad sa Mindanao nga naa-skin na.
Ay,
na-skin na. Eksena.
Nakababanda kada syudad. Ay, kada lugar sa Mindanao. Grabe. Isudoy. Wala, grabe. Wala. Pero kuan lang. Naka session lang. Kuan lang kanang kumbaga sabot-sabot sa kuan.
Tanaw mo si Tabak ba kay wala ipaki mo like kailangan mo drummer. Okay, unsa man itrada ninyo? Okay, muna sad. Wala libog ba?
Wala libog na daan.
Mingaw namin mo. Kumusta?
Mingaw pa namin Gray. Actually, gimingaw na ko dra sa Cebu. Last na kong tukar dira is way back 2015 man siguro. Katong kuan, ako'y nag-session ko sa Armas Ready. Tapos, nanukar po mi Furtherance. Kami ni Gabino, ni Chad, kami, tukar mo dra. Then, wala ko ka-expect. Shout out kang Gabino. Gabs. Nana ko dre, Gabs. Si Chad, si Chad.
Ay, si trivia ba eh. Si Tabak nag-video case sa salod sa taxi sa Bacolod.
Puang yung Jude. Tinood na.
Bitaw, streda mo yan ng naday karaoke sa kuan?
Di, ang storya kita na yun, kato bitong Bacolod, atong Visayas Hardcore Fest sa Bacolod.
Paglas, katong naasad me?
Kato nakita ta Domes kuan. Ako may ni-session ato sa Leaflet Bomb sa Tagamalay-Palay sa Lulujin. Dayon shout out na Lulujin, ni Poach, MCH Crew. Dayon ang nitabo ato naay taxi ni abot ang nagkuan sa mo nag-assist sa mo to si Flint, drummer sa Oppressor. Shout out to Flint.
Alright.
Tapos pagsulod na mo dito nga kuan tingala mi naay gamay nga TV. Na po yung microphone. Kanag yung video karaoke gid. Kanag video karaoke gid bitaw nga. Kanag yung video karaoke sa sulod ba. Unya timing kay ang driver ato kay gusto siya ga malingaw mi kanta mi.
Sure ba?
Ako choice ako yung pagkanta. Yung kanta lang kong Marcos Season, My Love Will See You Through.
Kando.
Dili, ito kwando kanto katong after na sa gig. After sa gig. After kwando kwando.
Wala pa yung nana diri nga taxi.
Oh, sa Bacolod, only in Bacolod City na siya. Then moto na tingala, wow expect kasi poach gibidyuhan po kung poach si Jude, si Flint na dito.
Makayo yung
grabe katawahan ako ato.
Ako i-post yat ba?
Din siya.
Ay pangutan na si Wigner na sad. Kano sa ka mo drum sa mga banda na pod sa taga Cebu.
Grabe mo ka. Maulo man sa tanay. Maulo. Amot lang wig kung gusto. Pero maulo ko yung ato mga maayo kay na Cebu. Really illegal.
Nakuno kay.
Atik ko na ingon si Mark. Na atik Vax.
Ah, sa?
Ay kunog atik ingon Mark.
I got it. I got it.
Nakuno ebidensya ana si Jed.
Na kay siya kang ebidensya nga pic. So mo nga pic.
Pagkanta ni mo sa taxi.
Oo. O si Shaq din, naka-video si Shaq ato din si Lujin. Kalimutan mo kisay nagko na to. Basta lingaw kay to kay sige lang kanta-kanta mo. Kanta-kanta sa taxi. Ang kuat po, ang driver po kita lingaw po sa mga kay sabaan may kanta-kanta dito My Love Will See You Through. Marcos Season ra.
Imagine ko nimo ba nakasa taxi mo nakata-kanta kaya tripping ka niya.
Di kwanto na ako sa tubangan na to, Francis ko ato. Dayon timing po napoy monitor tubangan. Then sa likod po napoy monitor. Oh. Then kada ako na dumdum na to kada lingkurana na ay microphone. So ako na ako'y microphone isa. Di ba sa mo kanta? Pakantahon lang ko.
Bagay, lingawan, matambak eh.
Di ba, kaya di mo takong kanta to sila, mamugusgod.
Ay, naku, tabak. So, ganahan lang yung storya ba kay ganina, kasi suporta sa sige sa suporta sa stream ba niya.
Oo, okay.
Parehaan sa kanang mo dire ba?
Ay, di, gimingaw lang yung kudras. Gimingaw lang yung kudras sa Cebu, yun kay. Kuan, basta ko, dako kay ko pasalamat dira sa inyo, sa SRA, friends, hardcore fan, kay isapod mo sa mga mentor, nga nung na ay extraordinaire sa mga saligan. So, kamoy nang Ninjan, hindi, kuan, silang dyan, silang, kamu, basta kamu nga kuan, kamu yung isa sa nagkuan rin sa iligan ba?
Ako idol ra gyud kay si kuan, si Wigner, grabe karaan na kina si Wigner.
Wigner gyud ba? Grabe, idol nga naman si Wigner.
Idol Wigner ba? Karaan na kina siya.
Wait, first, karaan na kanila Edwin og Jude. Loya.
Dominic, paglaki ko gusto ko maging tulad Tabak. Buang, sige. Jess, musta na Jess? Lahat na mo kita Jess kisa kuan.
Stephen, join ko sa
Stephen, sulod na Stephen, pareha biya mong naong itabak.
Stephen.
Pareha lagi mong naong tabak, honestly. Si Stephen, kinakita ni tabak.
Wala pa man siya.
Gimingaw na ko Stephen.
Gabi kayo.
Musta na ka Pin?
Stephen.
Musta na ka Pin?
Nag-step, kuan pa siya set up. Yo, madungog ka na mo, pero wala camera.
Wala ko yung camera. Ako yung
sige, okay na.
May camera Pin.
Unsa may mensahe ni mo Pin? Unsa may mensahe ni mo ni Tabak?
Yaw.
Yeah, okay.
Pin, how are you?
Ay ba, musta ba?
Ay, okay na ko Pin, adire.
Pero mag-dating show ba na? Musta man ka? Okay na.
Wala ba ka nang meet up?
Dom, isang iyang profile page, parang nang Tabak.
Pakita Pin.
Asang uban?
Ganun na namin na humantip eh. Dagan na kayo may guest. Asa kagikan.
Uy, kasi sa L, sa L. Uy, sa L. Sa L.
Ayun, pag-video, pen. Asa mo?
Lati, kuano, Kiking, sa L, balay-balay, shout out.
O, nasa L.
Si Kiking na sa kuan, malay-balay.
Johan, nag-anniversary sa taga Hilongos. Shout out.
Depend, ang imong electric fan kay murag medyo saba siya, madungog siya sa kuan. Okay lang, okay lang.
Guys.
Okay lang, si Tabak na duty pa sa McDonald's.
Nara ko des balay. Okay ra ko repen. Ikaw, musta naman ka?
Kira gyapon bak. Basta
Pen,
okay.
ano yung video? Para lagi mo nang tabak. Tarawa.
Wapo ko lang bak na ko yun. Sana.
Ay, pag inana ba? Ay, pag inana, Pin.
Naki-happy anniversary mo sa SRA 16.
Ay, na ko i-share. Actually, 2000 first na akong to guard the rest 2007 sa Escario. So, mo to siya. Tapos, ito na ko nakita itong mga first time ko kita itong mga gahe yun yung kuan, mga line up. 2000 sa Escario. O ba to siya? Nabiyan mig barko.
Huh?
Nabiyan mig barko pagka-ufa.
Lunsa mo ni.
Nabiyan mig barko pagka-ugma.
Kasi kuya gani mo ato.
Lunsa mo ni. Sayang nga. Ay na talking oy. Basta nabiyan mig barko kay kuan. Murag na delay mi kon na delay mi o kanang sa tawon ni kanang sakay ba nya traffic kayo mamuto ka tayo masinulog pag abot tapos pantala na wala na ang barko kay layo na kayo sakit kes dugan.
Bak nyon sige po ano na late mo ato bak kay dugay mo ni mata kay tungod lingaw kay sanar unsa ba
ay kato
ngunani dagan kay normal ni siya nga senaryo sa mga touring bands ba. Isa kami, ganang hapit, di ba?
Kuan. Bali, ang naitabo ato is, kuan, ang una dumduman ato, nagsuroy-suroy, like, nang suroy-suroy pa mi ba? Suroy, gilakaw ra na mo, tapos, pagkahapon ato, sakay na mi papauli atong among istayhan. Pag abot ito sa balay nga among istayhan, sirado man, kanang close ba, kanilakaw tong tag-iya. Ang biyahe sa barko ato is 7. Niabot ang tag-iya alas 5 na sa hapon. Pag-average yun sa portahan, kuhag bag, dito.
Uy, store mo, uy, ataya.
Sa una na to, 2007, Pen.
Kasi ko yung mga to,
grabe struggle ng mga to, pero okay na to kay kuan. Ako na dumduman kay kaming Gabino, si Adi sa Bulwami nga banda. Tapos vokalista na mo si Lindon.
Nalagi sa recollection na orag appeal ko ana. Ano na link mo?
Kwanto, basta mo to siya nga kwan. Then naitabo to is moto kadali-dali mi ato, then nagsakay mi og kanang nagatang mi sakyanan, dili mi ka kanang naglibog mi ba asa na ba kay kuan man kanang kamulo patog sinulog pagsakay na mo og kuan pagsakay na mo og kanang sakyanan mo to siya kuan na late na dayon pag abot na mo og SM pa ba dato uso pa tong gutong nga barko pag abot mo pag abot mo dito kuan dayon biyan mig barko minghoy mi pero pasalamat na mi kay napoy ning suporta tabang ato ba. Pero,
nagbayad sa inyong ticket ba?
Naparisked mi ato, naparisked. Pero,
nadara?
Nadara. Pero, kuan na to na mo kanang, kumbaga, experience na to na mo, charge of experience na to na mo sa among gig sa Cebu. Pero, kuan siya kanang worth it siya nga event gyapon kay. First time gyud mi nakatugar to SRA nga ito na ako nakita itong mga bands nga itong inastorya ni Jan nga mga mga gahe-gahe like Left of Center, Shrapnel. Ito kay ko first na ko kita to, Guilt to Flow. Sila Doyle, si Guilt to Flow. Ano ko sila dito. Dito po na ko first nakita si Jeros. Jeros sa yung drummer sa karon sa kuan, yung drummer pa na sa Left of Center tong yung bandang center boss lang Jude. Dito na ko first nakita ka drums. Na idol po na ako na si Jeros po, drummer ba? Idol. Fun pakikwaton niya to.
Tabak, nakoy pumunta na Tabak. Na-realize ni mo na ang imong pag-idol ni Jero sa una kay ang mga bata sa Iligan or kanang mga bagong tubo sa Iligan kay ikaw na ilang tanahon ba na kayo to pay tiro Tabak may nani ko one day. Isingkin na mo. Isingkin na mo kay feel ako murag mo gina ang case ba.
Dili ko kuan. Ambot lang siguro.
Dili pa siguro karon pero like murag same mo tanaw ka ni Jero sa una ba? Kaya to pira mo Pomps sa niya nya.
I think ang mga kids dira box kay ikaw na gid gi-look up.
Ikaw ilang Ginoo.
Sa diri siguro kuan sa ako lang na obserbaran diri dagay mga kids nga dagay mga kids nga mo kuan mo kanang mo approach nana kanang nana lagi nga style na murag mo something maulaw mo approach ako so ang ako na mismo mo dool sa ilabi to para encourage nga ani mo nimbuhaton ninyo ay mo ka give up sa inyong dreams.
Sakto gyud Tabak, sakto gyud.
Okay.
Unsa may feeling Tabak na sorry pa din.
Kay kuan pud sa diri man gud sa mga pod is gamay ra mo iligan gud. Tapos ang kuan pod ang mga kids diri is more on kanang need kay nila og tabang ba para for encouragement bitaw. Okay. Sa karon gyud ang kuan gyud diri ang mga kids diri more on na influensya kanang mga pops la din. Although
Billie Eilish nga kuan din.
Billie Eilish.
May na Billie Eilish yada. Kumunay sa gara sa mga kids ron diri Billie Eilish yung grata.
Lahi na sud lang tirada Tabak. Murag lahi na sad gyud ilang kuan ba ilang gipaminaw na ba?
Oo, mo lagi.
Yeah, unsa may feeling Tabak na ikaw idol ni Wigner. Mura gyud ang pangutan.
Kana maulaw na gyud ko ano atot idol kay nako sa Wigner. Wig idol.
Nasa follow-up question.
May mga questions. Go, Doms. Sa'yo mga questions sa mga tao.
Ay, pila ko na ang rate sa lessons ni Tabak.
Kuwara na ako ay walay. Inatoran ako Okay, kuan actually mag-lesson nag-offer ko lesson pero kuan lang sa rate lang medyo nag-base ko sa studio. Okay, naman ko'y friend nga nasa studio. So, ang iyang rent is 1 hour is 300. So, kanang 300, mura nang mahina. Pero kung nasa drums personal o kanang kuan, balag ginagmay lang gud mga inana lang. Kuan lang nako ba maka-share lang bitaw po ko sa ako.
Talent.
Wala na ko. Talent.
Mabinlan Tabak ba kay wa na jud drummer ang Mindanao
Ayan, dagan kay mayon pa. Dagan kay mayon drummer sa Mindanao Di ko kaingon nga di ko kaingon nga kuan, di ko kaingon nga kamera. Dagan asin dagan kayo. Nalayo bandra ka pahipi ra na sila. Kuan na sila kadang
Pero wag gud ni ari si Jed sa atong call. Wag
way klaros Jed pa gansi kay ko naskam.
Lagi naskam.
Klaro naskaman ko. Naskaman ko ni Jed.
Gichatan ako sila gichatan sa tagsa si Tabak ug si Jed nya. Si Jed ana si Jed na musod ko if musod sa Tabak ana sa Tabak mauwaw mo ko ana ko musod mas Jed. Kanya murag kaya to si Tabak na ni sud. Gari. Dahil pangutan na Wigner.
Unsay first time ito lo. Grabe. grabe. What's the first ni mo itudlo sa Tikba? Siyempre, basic. Basic yun na yun. Basic yun na yun. Basic. No, hindi. Sorry, Bakso. Wait, klaro. Naskaman kong Jude ba yun?
Dead. Okay rami tabak dyan. Basta nagsunod na mga tubakulod. Karang librihan, minimo kansi.
Kanang yun, kansi. Grabe lang may kitong kansi, bay. Grabe, the best kitong kansi.
Gray, katong nangatami bakulod pag last Gray ba? Oh, lamias kansi eh.
Prato pa yun kayo. Prato kayo.
Unsa pag-explain? Tabak unsa pag-explain sa kansi kanang
Masyag kwan, kanang bulalo.
Bone marrow?
Oh, bone marrow nga kwan, bone marrow nga may makabulalo nga ang sabaw kay may pagsagol mura bitaw kumbaga murag sa mua ang sabaw murag pinahalang-halang bitaw.
Oh,
Kaya
namit
tangan ko kalamansi. Ha?
Namit.
Ay. Mimings.
Nagingon si King do, nagingon si Sael ba?
Kana sa tabak di pwede masakit ang Buhay ka, King. Di actually namin plano ni King og ni Tatong kinani online gyapon.
Banda na sa Yawa.
Pero dili kanang kuan ba sustorya ra gyapon, sustorya. Kinada ra ko banda. Pero mo to kansa mo ko na bone marrow. Bone marrow with patuan na.
Patuan ko no.
Lami kena.
Lami akan sige ate.
Lami kito mo to pinaka kuan gyud pinaka ayos nga pagkaon nga kung nakuan gyud. Grabe. Shout out to Jet of Suppressor.
Nga si Maricar.
Ha?
Mo daw siya puchero.
Oh, more puchero ana. Kasi puchero. Basta ang sabaw kay ang sabaw kay
Bakulod ka na mura siya ka ng utan pero lahi sa dunay corn. Kaon man na.
Salami kayo. Grabe.
Kanang vegetables, kada mura siya ka ng gulay ba pero corn na siya corn basta lahi sa food.
Okay.
Guys, dapat to chance mo rin si Popo, guys.
Not to chance eh.
Pero later pa siguro work nang gusto siya. But anyway, continue lang tayo streaming.
Di kay nalipay ra jud ko ni hap on si Tabak ba. Ganano ko pasalamatan si Tabak.
Salamat kayo, salamat.
Lingaw ko na ni Dayon ko.
Actually, dako pasalamat ni Doms, ni Gray, og ni Kuan, og ni Ma'am Maricar. Salamat kayo sa opportunity. Actually, unexpected. Ulaw yo ko. Di Doms gyud ko ginari. Pero pasalamat kay ko sa inyo kay wala ko ka-expect nga dirin na part ko sa inyong mga sa
Di madata ba ko. Present ka pirme.
Yes. Dito pwede nga may Mindanao.
Pero isa po pasalamat po ko sa inyo ha sa SRA sa mga banda Yakulpa kanya kanjan Carlo.
Si John daw dili daw siya ka kuan kay hinay pa yung internet na pa siya sa gawa.
Okay, murag og baby magpay padata si John. Actually ang samua diri karon kay wala may mga lingaw, wala may gig karon ang iping gyud abo diri halos bagbike gyud mi tanan.
Mo lagi kanu diri sa Cebu.
Bike oh.
Sa Cebu sad.
Oh, kami sa Outnumbered. Naikas si Juniper mong gitarista, nagbike pa gyud mi, bike. Atomic One. Oh. Si Gabino, pait po ng bike, Furtherance.
Ikaw pa ba? Kanasama ta mag-bike ka ba?
Ugma. Mag-bike pa ko, ugma.
Pa itira.
Guys.
Oh, actually, ang diri sa Iligan, uso ng mga bike diri ron. More on uphill. Bike o motor may kasagara sa banda diri ka kuan. So
before ka madto pasalamat sa kuno sa mga sponsors kuno.
Sponsor.
Ano si Jed? Pasalamat sa daw sa mga sponsors kuno.
That's
So, sponsor sakto. Jude. Tama ko this Jude. Without
Kuan.
Jed.
O sige, patayin.
Sige, ikaw, sige. Saan?
Turay sa Jed.
Sa love. Sa mga sponsor, Jed. Oh, idea ng sponsor nito.
Gray, akong idea, Gray ba? Kay since nasa si Tabak ron, wala gid si Popo. Kay ang idea, before ta mo end, yun, kay magpatukar ta sa Queen City Crew in memory of Kunya, like kanang samtang nagtanaw ta ba niya. Ikaw man na if wala jud gyapon si Popo kay feel na good na i-end ang stream ba kay 7 hours na. Yeah,
Yes.
Okay ra Tabak botan-aw ta og
Nakatukar.
in memory of kunya. Kunya manata. Okay ra ka?
Okay.
Sige,
Diba,
sige.
pero
Pero Asa?
pero again, salamat kayo sa inyo ha sa opportunity. Gray, salamat kay Gray. Again, salamat kayo. Friends, Fan, Hardcore, SRA, salamat kayo. Continue, padayon lang ta despite aning pandemic. Wala na. Lagi na.
Sakto kay siya pang ending do. Way binuang ganing kantaha sa Queen City ba? Mo man gyud ning kantaha gyud.
Mao gyud, sakto gyud.
Grabe gyud ning kantaha gyud. Sige,
Mao
guys.
gyud. Okay.
Let's go on.
Salamat, Gray. Salamat. Good night.
Ipabilin gyapon ta dire kay i-play na to. Play us out ba Queen City Crew. Ready?
Sige.
Good night tadaan sa mga tao. Salamat.
Good night. Gray, salamat.
Ay sag-out ba ka? Kay mamina pa ta.
Sige.
Sige guys, so Gray,
Sige.
pasalamat Maricar, pasalamat na mo sa mga tao dira kay i-play na to ang last song.
Bitaw. Pasalamat ko una daan sa guest kay kanang impromptu gyud to, real time, wala gyud ko nihatag og allowance like ganina ra jud ko buntag resulti ni Reese. So thank you kay Jude sa left of center. Thank you kay Jai sa Overthrown ug sa Reconstrux Cooking. Thank you kay Reese sa Dagger, King Lychee ug sa uniteasia.org. Thank you kay Boyet sa Beauty of Doubt, Nonentities, Team the Tikbalang. And then thank you
Edwin.
sa tanan. Like
Edwin, bye.
kay,
Tabak,
kay,
tanan.
kay Maricar,
Thank you.
kay Tawi, kay Doms. Kung wala si Doms, this is not possible. Dili mi kabawa ng aning streaming.
Di gani ko kibaw, karon na gani ko buntag na kibaw.
Thank you kay Edwin. Thank you sa tanang ni support si Ayban, si Bay, si Kenny, sa tanang ni online si Ayban, si Kenny, si Wigner, si Sael, si Yuhan, si Jed,
Jed, good bye, Jed. Grabe.
Oh, yeah,
Jed, askaman ko ni mo, Jed.
Thank you kay kisa pa man. Thank you kay katong ganina si Dan Hill. Thank you kay kanang kisa pa man. Ako lang i-random. Thank you kay Dio, kay Ann, and everyone when you tune in. Of course, thank you kay Tabak ug kang Jed. Thank you.
Salamat.
Sige guys, so we're gonna play you out with of course Queen City Crew in memory of di gani na to malimtan nga kanta.
Other side ay
In memory of Queen City Crew.
Oh, nila SRA gud tanan SRA gud.
Talagan kayo kanang kuan maspit, kanang kuan.
Maspit.
Here we go guys.
Okay.
Good night everyone.
Good night.
Lahi ara gud.
Lain na sa beat.
Asa man? Di mo siya ganun undang.
Thank you sa tanan kay
Thank you guys.
para rest na po si Ladoms.
Thank you guys.
Happy anniversary.
Doms, so thank you so
Thank you,
much.
Doms.
Thank you guys. Good night ninyo tanan.
Mo effort dahil sa pagkadto sa mong balay.
Good night.
Good night.
Gardo na sad. Mag-play lang ta. Hindi natin padayon dire. Ato lang ta sa page.
Sige. Good night guys. Ipangon na ako.
Bye everyone. Happy anniversary.
Okay.
Tame,
3,
hardcore.
Stay
Two,
sad, guys.
one. See you guys. Happy anniversary.
Pomps.